Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Thursday, April 8th, 2021, years after zero, and today's a great day. That's right, the Masters teed off this morning. Yeah. The boys are down in Georgia, swinging clubs, dressed incredibly fashionable, while a large group of humans are walking around, flocking around them in the golf course. It's a beautiful day. Masters Thursday. We are back, okay? Now, it got shifted into the fall because, COVID came through and kind of knocked the Masters out of its time frame alongside every other sporting event on planet Earth. But here we are. There's a crowd down there. Gary Player and Jack teed off this morning. It would appeared to be the butt crack of Dahn, and now they're already out there golfing. Guy scored a triple bogey on the first hole. He got hot. There's some other players out there. The big conversation, though, is what the players are wearing. Brooks Kepka, incredible pink hat, coming back off a knee injury. The skeptics and haters said he would not be able to play in this tournament. He took that personally. Now he's out there looking like $1 bazillion. Bubba Watson's wearing the Jordan 4s. It is a fresh pair of golf cleats. They have to be so uncomfortable. Okay, like if these are anything like the actual Jordan shoes, incredibly uncomfortable. They alluded to that in the Jordan Last Dance or whatever documentary. Actually, he talked about how his feet were bleeding whenever he was wearing. They do not make Jordans for comfort at all. I would assume that hopefully they would have a little bit of something here for Bubba, where these incredibly dope, awesome looking cleats that I wish I could buy were somehow more comfortable than the regular shoes are, because the regular shoes are impossible to wear, but they look so damn good. We all just kind of battle through it in our every single day. He is also using a pink driver still. Dustin Johnson's out there looking fantastic. The Masters have just begun. We will cover it while the show is going. There's a TV on in the studio. This is another day where there is a chance this show will be derailed by what's going on television. We apologize for that. We can obviously not air it. Neither does anybody else aside from a website until 3 o'clock, which, good news, everybody's basically done by then. So once again, we don't understand why we don't make this easy to access, but that's golf. That's not us. That's a different world. We hacked into a website to get this, like a lot of people have this morning. We will cover that. We had great guests today. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday we had a guy with 2 PhDs on. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Scott Goldman. That was a cool conversation. It is by the way, the Goldman standard.
That's right.
Whenever people are testing for intelligence of the brain and not just, book smart, we're talking how fast are the reactions, what's the recall like of the brain. He tries to really test all aspects of the brain to see what it's good at, what it's not good at, try to be a descriptor of what they think the brain is as opposed to a predictor. He says it's impossible to do that. They don't fuck with personality. It was a good conversation, by the way. It spurred, I think, a lot of conversation with other people, especially with how good Justin Fields did on his test, allegedly via Mark Sanchez, although the guy that created the test, who was on the show yesterday, did not confirm nor deny that because of HIPAA. Justin Fields potentially moves up in the draft narrative because it finally came out that he potentially has photographic memory. That was a cool conversation with that guy. Okay, got a chance to learn a lot. Today, talking to somebody new too.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, it's a big day.
Okay.
National champion, college basketball head coach for the Baylor Bears, Scott Drew. Scott in about 19 minutes or so. Okay, I'll talk to Scott. I'll say, hey, Scott, how you doing? All right, you're a national champ. Let's talk about it. He went to school right down here in Indianapolis, Butler. Did not know that. It's where he got his coaching start at, right here in Butler.
Really?
Yeah, now he's a national champion down there at Baylor. Cannot wait to chat about his team and how they were able to stop that Gonzaga squad. Not just stop, by the way, step on their throats numerous times. Cannot wait to hear his thoughts on how his team handled the COVID season, his life, everything like that. And I think they got a lot of players back for next year. Let's go on a run. And Shaq Griffin.
Ooh, another national champion.
Yeah, national. Yeah, usually that, by the way, celebrate that thing. He is obviously incredibly inspiring and motivating for a lot of people. Never talked to him. Can't wait to chat with him in the third hour alongside a guy who drives with both of his feet.
Oh, no.
Yikes.
AJ Hawk. Let's get to the show. Bubblegum Pino's here. At Boston Connor's here. Ty Schmidt is here. And obviously sitting as a mouthpiece for the internet, dialed into the YouTube comment section, dialed into Twitter and all things happening around the world. The guy who reads our polls every day. One of the greatest minds in the history of anything. At Viva La Zito, you look fantastic today.
Yep, just a backup caddy today. Just in case someone goes down, I'm going in.
Yeah, we have
call.
the full caddy suit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That is a legit one. We actually ordered that for the College Game Day appearance that we made. Zito has worn this particular caddy suit actually live at the Masters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Because Game Day was at the Masters. We were satellited in. Mm-hmm. We were FaceTimed in.
Yeah.
We were Zoom called in.
Oh, yeah.
We were dialed in there. They had us on a screen down there, though. And the show was live from the Masters.
Yep.
So I've been in the Masters.
So I was live at the Masters. Shout out. Shout out. They would never let me on their grounds, by the way. That's exactly what I'm referring to. I talked to AJ about this yesterday. I am not the type of person that they just say, come on in behind the bamboo or whatever the hell it is.
The pine straw?
Yeah, whatever. They have some sort of come on in.
The Masters yelled at you for having a picture behind you.
We had to change the picture that was on the background while we were streaming live at the Masters on College Game Day because there was a golf cart in it, which, by the way, made the picture look awesome. Had to get rid of it because the Masters people...
Cut the feed, please. Cut the feed.
Please change that for their next shot, which will be 30 to 45 seconds long. Need you to go ahead and change that photo. But anyways, Zito comes in the full garb, takes my my bag from the Greenbrier when I play anything, walks out of there. Zito was a caddy at the Masters.
Caddy at the Masters.
Yep.
Live at the Masters.
Thank you.
Zito. Hey, you did a great job, by the way.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Many people were saying that it was our magnum opus, really.
It really was.
You know what I mean? It was our biggest moment we've ever had there whenever we got to do that. Zito, what's the poll for today? And we need to have an update on this at least 3 to 4 times while our friend from Ohio is on, Mr. AJ Hawk.
So, do you drive with both feet like AJ Hawk? Very surprising with 8,000 votes already. Yup, 12%. Very scary, by the way.
Get the fuck out of here. What are
Very
you
scary.
doing?
What is that?
For those that don't know, we found out yesterday when AJ Hawk was joining us that he drives with both feet. And he said it as if it was like, we all do this. Yeah. You know, because you're not really... I mean, I guess when you get in a car with somebody, you would notice if they're driving with both feet because you'd be like, hey, stooge, that's not how you drive. So you would think that would happen, maybe. But he just assumed this was a regular thing. And in Ohio, it might be, by the way. If you've ever driven through there, it actually answered a lot more questions that I've had for a long time about Ohio and Ohio drivers.
Yeah.
Notoriously bad driving place.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, you get on a highway over there, you're fucked. All right, you're going to be parked behind some people. There's going to be bad decisions. Now, I'm not saying Ohio is the only state, but there are people that believe that Ohio drivers are the worst in the continental United States.
Really?
Yes. A lot of people in Indiana that I've talked to actually said, hey, heard what AJ Hawk said today. Makes a lot of sense. Ohio are the worst. Now, I believe it's Illinois.
Whoa.
I am as somebody who has, I feel like I have driven around a long time. I was chatting with my wife about this the other day for my dad's 60th birthday. You know, my dad and I spent a lot of time in cars together. Yeah. I've basically been on the road since I was like 12, 13, maybe even earlier than that with old Tim. I feel like I've been on the road a lot, okay? And maybe when I was young, I wasn't judging the drivers as much as I should. But as I've gotten older, I feel like I traveled a lot. Illinois is by far the fucking worst.
No. Wow.
Bad. Just decision-making is terrible.
We're assertive.
No, you're not, though. Like, because you'll just hang out there in that far left lane, too, and then you'll find another Illinois driver who is... just out of nowhere. You see an Illinois license plate, you have to give a little okay, let's watch what this person is going to do.
Wild card.
Just a life advice. If you
We're
see
Fast and Furious, baby.
you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah,
You don't know what you're
exactly.
getting. You literally have no idea because there is a chance there's a Fast and Furious.
Vin Diesel, baby.
Which, by the way, I got respect for. Okay, if that's going to happen, and that's how you drive, you got to do it.
Yeah.
But there's a chance there's a completely reckless, bad decision being made. Then it's going to be your fault somehow. A lot of that. My wife. Most people I've met in Indiana, they do not feel that way about Illinois, who comes through here a lot.
Thank you.
They are firm believers that Ohio is the absolute worst.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, so when AJ goes, yeah, I drive with both feet and act like it was very normal. My wife celebrated immediately. A lot of other people heard what AJ said, that's a normal thing over there. So just remember that when you're driving through the country, it's a cool thing. It's a very cool thing. You should go see stuff. And when you drive, you get to see things that you wouldn't see when you fly, obviously. And you get to meet and go to small towns. It's a very cool thing to do. But you got to remember, not all driving is the same.
Yep.
Okay?
Right.
Not all drivers are created equally. AJ Hawk exposed himself yesterday for being a terrible driver.
Yeah.
Now, it was something he had to do because he probably had a ripped groin or something. And I've had to drive two-footed before when you can't move your leg. You might be able to move your ankle, okay, but you can't move your leg to get over for whatever reason, whether it's a knee surgery, a groin, a hip flexor, or anything like that. So he's just done that his entire life. It is alarming that 12% of the people also said, yeah, I do that. I did not know that was a number that was that high. Think about that when you're out there driving. Okay, think about that when you're out there driving. And how many Uber drivers just put you up in here, too?
Hopefully not.
So you got to think about that when you get into an Uber, too. You need to maybe potentially be, excuse me, I
Hey,
need
what
to-
do you-
Hey,
how do you-
what's that
I didn't
left
see
foot
what you're
doing?
doing, Donna.
do you-
AJ texted me last night and said he thought people had enough athleticism to drive with both feet. And that was his entire,
Okay.
And then he went into an entire spiel about think about how long it would take you guys from going from the gas pedal to the brake. My reaction time, he said, because the left foot's already there, is so much faster than everybody else's. He actually went on to say that if everybody drove like him, insurance rates would be lower because reaction times would be faster and
Not
there
a
wouldn't be
chance.
as many accidents.
Not
Fool.
a chance.
What
Can
AJ
you-
Hawk said last night.
Can you even hold on to the steering wheel with those hands?
Well, we're talking about maybe he doesn't have to react as fast if he wasn't potentially just laying on his brakes the entire time, just rubbing those things dry as he's driving around town.
I'd guess he has a lead foot too. How many times do you think he's at a green, a red light turns green and he's just holding down on the brake and pushing on the gas? Like, why am I not going anywhere?
He is holding.
Burning rubber.
Anyways, that's alarming.
It is.
12%.
I would have guessed maybe one out of 20, 1 out of 25.
I would think so too. Like maybe this person has had so many knee surgeries,
Yeah.
or they just had to do this. They got comfortable doing this, like AJ. But AJ was talking as if even if he didn't have all the surgeries and he was just doing it, he would have done it anyways. And that for me was scary. In driving home yesterday, I kept my head on a swivel.
Had
You
to.
have no idea. Because if people are making that decision, what other decisions are they making?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What other decisions do they got going on? He said he started doing it because he started with a stick or whatever, driving a stick, and it was like, no, that is not exactly. You would not be doing that at all, actually, because Jay and I, my brother, we were raised on driving stick.
Wow.
Weren't we, Jay?
Oh yeah, our dad taught every kid we knew how to drive a stick.
Yeah, literally.
Get on in the car now.
It was almost like Tim was like,
Half of them in my car, I think.
yeah, Tim was like, hey, listen, if you don't know how to drive, a stick, this ain't driving.
Yeah.
No, you're not driving.
Good thing to know, too.
What's that?
How to drive a stick.
Not anymore. It's kind of getting like completely. What's that mode called? See, I don't even know what it's called anymore. What is that called? It's not
Manual?
manual. There it is. Manual. Driving a stick.
Now everything's at sports stick and the flappy pedal stuff.
Yeah, you got the.
Yeah, and the flappy pedals, you don't even have to get off the gas either.
No.
You could just go while you're doing that whole thing. Yeah, but back in our day, you used to have to actually shift the gear for the engine of the car you were driving.
Hell yeah.
Okay, and it did help me whenever I transitioned into the motorcycle, But acting as if that was why he would go clutch to the brake with his left foot, I just don't know.
No, it's foolish.
I don't know.
You got to pull those people who said yes too. How many times, have you gotten in an accident while you've been driving with 2 feet on the pedals?
And they would just say, well, actually, it
was their fault.
Typically, the other person's.
If they would have. Anyway, so we'll keep up with that poll. 12% is scary. If that thing gets above 15%, maybe we all think about just walking everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's not a bad
Buy
idea.
a bird scooter.
Sometimes you got to hit the clutch, hit the gear, hit the gas and I'm going.
That's right.
Okay, 50 Cent said that. Shout out to him. Let's talk about some sports stuff. Brandon Marshall is reporting, okay?
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall, I Am Athlete podcast, owner of House of Athlete. I texted him the other day. He has not answered. That's a shame.
okay.
Friend of the show. Not friend of the show. Anyways, guy who is plugged in, dialed in, growing a great business. Excited for him. Great guest on the show last week. Yeah. He reported on First Things First, which is Fox Sports' Good Morning Football.
Pretty much.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, but is it Good Morning Football?
Same time slot, I believe.
But is it like First Take more?
I think it's more like First Take.
So it's a morning First Take.
Yeah.
First Things First. Fox Sports 1.
Boom.
Got it. Okay. Chris Carter used to be on there.
Yes.
Okay, Chris Carter. I do remember seeing clips of Chris Carter going through and saying the gospel in there. Yep. That's why when you compare it to Good Morning Football is like, hey, what yogurt would you have if you were potentially this quarterback? Because they can only talk about the NFL. So they have to get very creative about how they talk about everything. So I would assume to keep a little bit of life, but it's all very positive, funny show. First Things First is not a funny show, right? I mean, it could
not
be.
really. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes they play stuff up comedically, but it's a debate, you know.
So Brandon Marshall coming on there saying, hey, I'm reporting this. We can assume that, okay, this is...
Oh, yeah.
He's dialed. I'm going to trust Brandon Marshall if he says I'm reporting something more than pretty much anybody else out there right now. Just with how he's playing. He says the Russell Wilson saga is over. He said Pete and Russ are past it. Don't even worry about it. I'm about to report this. This conversation is over. Russell Wilson is about to be a Seahawk for a long time. Russ and Pete Carroll on the same page. I think their relationship is probably better than it's ever been.
Whoa.
Now listen, let me tell you why. You know, if you ever go through something with somebody and it gets bad, you know, like back in the day, for instance, you potentially would have a scrap right there, maybe a wrestle, maybe something like that. You get your emotions out, you would do your whole thing. Afterwards, what you learn from is that your relationship has now matured a little bit. It has gone through some things. Instead of maybe being built on sand, now there is a little bit of a foundation. There are some things you've gone through. There are some things you've had to work through together. There's conversations that you were forced to have because you potentially got to the point where you had to have them. That happens, I think, personally, professionally. That happens in a lot of people's lives, maybe with themselves even. And I think if Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson had to sit down and talk after Russell's team was saying things, then Pete Carroll's team was saying things, and by Pete Carroll's team, I mean anonymous sources that came out to say, like, Russell Wilson would be jack shit if it wasn't for Pete Carroll. That was basically what an anonymous source said. After Team 3 came out and said, we don't like what the Seahawks have been doing with Russell Wilson, the offensive line, the play calling, the blah, blah, blah. So, like, I think there was some nasty shit that was being said publicly, which obviously, if Brandon Marshall's reporting this is over, their relationship is better than ever, they had to sit down. They had to say, hey, Rush, you know, that's probably what Pete did.
Let's talk.
Okay, let's talk. They sat down. I would assume square table. One on either side of one on opposite sides of each other. Meal, I think, is probably served while this is happening. And I think they had an entire conversation. I think there was potential notes that were taken. I think there was a lot of hard conversations that potentially happened. But if it's being reported that they're better than ever, that means they came to an understanding. They may have been forced to have this conversation, by the way. May have been forced to have this conversation because a way that this could have not happened, by the way, Russell Wilson just saying, trade me, I'm not talking. So they were forced to have this conversation for whatever reason, and it feels like they're back and better than ever. Congrats to the Seahawks fans. And by the way, I would like to say this show right here has never once said that we feel as if Russell Wilson's out of there.
No.
We said it feels like
that's right.
The reporting is because this was something that was being talked about. Then you hear about the Chicago Bears Seattle Seahawks trade thing that happened in Fargo, North Dakota, and it's like, oh, there was some real shit happened. Then more people have insiders are saying, hey, this is still going. This is not over. And then when Brandon Marshall says, I would like to report this, I'm like, okay, I believe that. Here we go. They moved past it. So there was some smoke. There was probably some moments where Russell stormed out of meetings allegedly. defensively, and other things were happening, and philosophical differences is what Pete Carroll described as Schottenheimer's offense that he was running with Russell Wilson, which was basically just Russell Wilson. So I think they were forced to have a convo. Good for them. I don't know how the offensive line's going to react to this whole thing, but if they can move forward, I assume everybody else will be like, we can too.
Well, and initially, Schefter basically said, hey, don't write this off until after the draft, right? He said it's still possible that teams will make plays during the draft. So, I mean, don't you think that someone other than like the team itself or something would say, like, hey, these guys got together, Russ is going to be here for a long time, if they're not at least still maybe entertaining someone calling up with a new deal for him?
Yeah, because imagine if they go through that whole conversation. Imagine Russ and Pete have a full conversation. They're better than they've ever been. And then somebody's like, all right, you want 5 first-round picks?
Yeah.
We'll give you the number 4 this year and then 4 first-round picks.
Okay. Then also maybe a third and 2 starters. And Pete has to go, all right, let's go back to the table here. I don't know what you do. Because if something is appetizing enough, do they go for it?
Right.
And I think the answer is going to be no. I think the answer is going to be no. Now that he's reporting that they're better than they've ever been, because you're not going to move on from a top 5 quarterback if you have a top 5 quarterback, if you don't have to move on from a top 5 quarterback. It felt like in Houston was going to be forced to move on from Deshaun because Deshaun and his team were taking a stand saying, hey, we're not coming there. I thought that was potential. That felt like that was very publicly over, right? This one never felt like that, right? It felt as if I don't know, dude. When that team started burying the Seahawks, dude, when his team 3, when his chef and his cardio coach and his strength and conditioning coach and his agility coach and his
spiritual advisor,
whenever that the team 3 was releasing statements, and then those statements, by the way, were not being shot down by Russell Wilson. And then when quotes were coming out from about how good Russ would be, and Pete wasn't saying anything. Then there was some times where it felt as if this shit was bad over there.
Oh, yeah.
If they're better than ever, good for them. Then.
Yeah, but he still never came out and said, like you mentioned, hey, I want to be traded. And after listening to Brandon Marshall saying, Russell loves the Derek Jeter story. He loves the Kobe Bryant story, how those guys stayed with, one team throughout their entire career. You'd think there would be like kind of a 2-year window here where if they do take a step back, probably Pete Carroll's on the hook before Russell Wilson is.
Okay, so we can do like classic sports take show. He likes Derek Jeter. Okay, he likes Kobe Bryant, Robert Mathis. You know, Russell Wilson publicly hates what Tom Brady and Peyton Manning did.
Oh,
right. He does.
That's true though,
because he put up other people. He's putting down everybody
Loves
else.
Drew Brees.
But there is a sentiment among a lot of players, including Aaron Rodgers, who has said this recently, actually, as last year, I guess. There's something to being with one team for the entire time. There's something to just being that whole thing. I mean, granted, 8 years.
How about that?
No big deal.
Russell
Could I
Wilson.
have gone elsewhere? Maybe. Would I have thought about it? Probably.
It's almost like.
But I did stay here. You know what I mean? So here we go. How you doing? But there is a sentiment to like being with one team. There's a thing. There is something about that. So I can see how Russell Wilson would be very, obsessed with that. But then there's also the conversation they want to get to Chicago because it's a bigger market in LA. And that must have all just been bullshit, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe. We're not 100% sure.
So if there was a reconciliation between him and Pete, are we led to believe that he basically just threw all of Team 3 under the bus and was just like, yeah, they don't know shit?
Well, then, yeah. Because can he come out publicly and bury Team 3, or does that kind of kill 3 and Team 3 together? You know what I mean? Like, or does he have to do it behind closed door? Like,
hey, this can't get out. But
the spiritual coach met up with the cardio coach, and they were talking, and then Go Hawks kind of fell through the window.
Yeah, but or they did what they were told, or Russ was like, hey, thanks for doing this again, guys. Me and Pete just had our conversation. We are going to change the things that you guys pointed out to Pete, and now this Seattle Seahawks team is completely different.
Yeah, Team 3 maybe positioned Russell Wilson to be exactly where he wants to be publicly without Russell Wilson saying any of it.
Yes.
Now Russell Wilson gets to call plays. Now Russell Wilson's a part of the roster. Now Russell Wilson, is maybe running a team meeting or two.
Yes.
Whatever Russell Wilson wanted to do, which, by the way, whatever the quarterback wants to do, and this is going to sound so bad, but if you're on a team, whatever that fucking guy wants to do that is going to make him play his best football, who cares?
Yeah.
If he's playing football on Sunday really well, let's just get him to Sunday.
Yes.
Like that is a very real, let's just get the guy to Sunday. That is a mindset that a lot of people have whenever, you're talking about vets like Bruce Arians, for instance. Now, Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. Bruce Arians said, though, there's a Wednesday, Tom doesn't want to throw. It's like, hey, Tom, hey.
Take it off.
Do whatever you want.
Whatever.
Hey, Tom, you don't want to throw away. Get to Sunday.
Yeah.
The mindset is let's just get to Sunday. So if Russell Wilson wants to do all these other things, now Pete Carroll and the Seahawks and everything, they have a much different view than I do. But as somebody that was in the locker room, it's just like, hey, none of this matters. Like, let's just get to Sunday. If he balls, we're all happy, right? Let's just get. Now, if he stinks,
get him out of town.
Okay, tell Team 3 to shut their trap.
Yeah, see you later.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, a national champion, head coach for the Baylor Bears. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Tree.
Yay!
Scotty!
Woo! Man, thanks for having me. You're a legend ever since you jumped in the Brazos.
A legend! Oh, the Brazos I actually did.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I heard about your time at Butler. I thought you were going to talk about the canal incident. What you were referring to was the sailgating, the Brazos.
College game day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, yeah, Baylor Waco was very good to us. We went down there a few times. That campus is obviously beautiful and growing. I would assume right now the basketball team is a very popular thing on that campus, I'd imagine, huh, Scott?
Well, we're very blessed. 14 of our 17 sports are all ranked in the top 25, and everybody's doing well. Everyone's excited.
Hey, that's quite a flex you just said. We had 14 of our 17, top 25. We just won a national championship, by the way. Football team is going to get back to prominence. It is a cool thing you guys got cooking in Waco. This season, beginning of the year, I'm sure you heard it. Everybody said this Gonzaga team, this Baylor team, these two teams are on a collision course, two of the greatest college teams of all time. How were you able to handle that with your team, with COVID, the expectations? Yeah. There was a little bit of a drop-off in play. How were you able to handle this season with your players?
Well, first and foremost, I think the stage was set a year ago when we won 23 straight games in the Big 12, because at that point it showed that our guys were tough enough, resilient enough, and mature enough to handle success. Because when you go through a season where you're projected number 2 or number 1, and Gonzaga was 1, we were 2 in the first poll, it basically stayed that way. 1962 was the last time you had two teams that didn't drop out of the top 3 that met in the national championship game. Wow. We were going to play the game December 5th. I love Coach Few because we have the same scheduling philosophy. Let our players play against the best. Let them enjoy their opportunity in college to showcase their talents and abilities. And God had a better plan. He didn't say December 5th. He said April 5th. So we were both good with that too,
I could imagine. The thought of playing that Gonzaga team, and I don't know enough about college basketball. I should. I was very intrigued by your team because it was just, we're talking about creating shots, making shots. We're talking about like big time athletic plays, and you don't want to say this. I'll say this as a casual college basketball fan. There's some LA Fitness games here in Indiana I'll go watch that potentially look better than some college basketball games. Yeah. Okay, so that's just, but your team in the Gonzaga team, and I think that's why March Madness is so magical because it kind of separates the pretenders from the actual contenders in this whole thing. When your team started playing, I was there whenever you guys played Houston. You have some guys down there. How is that? Is it a pipeline down there? Is it practices? What is it? Those dudes are insane on your team.
Well, as you know, if it works out, it has to be coaching, right?
Absolutely.
But no, I tell you, we got some really hardworking guys. You love them because they got that blue collar mentality. Most of them not top 50 guys. They just came in and grinded each and every day, worked extremely hard to get better. And because of that, they were able to achieve their ultimate goal, and that's win a national championship. So I know you like our guys because they play with a lot of fire and determination and toughness that you play with.
And hey, by the way, it appears as if they are very confident in themselves, which is what I like. I like whenever people put the work in, then whenever they get a chance to perform, they have nothing but confidence. That offense, you guys put up points as if you're an NBA team. I mean, it was really, really cool to watch. And to hear that it was non-top 50 recruiting and everything like that, that is even better to hear. I should have probably known that already. But once again, it's bad sports journalists. I mean, it is. We're talking to Scott Drew, head coach of the Baylor basketball team, just won the national championship. Scott, you didn't play basketball at Butler, but you were, where were you, an assistant? You were something like that?
Student assistant, and I was really blessed because we had an unbelievable staff. Coach Barry Collier helped build that program there. And then there were assistants, Jay John, who was a head coach at Oregon State, Thad Mata, who had a great coaching career and was able to pick their brains, learn from them. And those three really helped me. The other thing is that being in the Big 12 for 18 years, I mean, coaching against all the legends and greats that we've had have made me a lot better coach. In fact, one of the highlights this year was I was on Coach Huggins' radio show with him when we were down there before our game, and had a blast with him on the radio show. He's such a great man and should be a Hall of Fame coach here soon. But you know, when you're in the Big 12, you have to be able to compete. You have to get better as a coach, otherwise your teams aren't going to be successful. And it really prepares you for the NCAA tournament. You know, we went to the Elite Eight in 2010, the Elite Eight in 2012. Been ranked number 1 3 of the last 5 years, so we've been knocking. And you're that much more appreciative after not having a March Madness last year, and these guys having a chance to have it this year.
Did you play golf ever?
I golfed, but when I got to Baylor, you know, we had too much work, so I haven't had a chance to get out there.
All right, well, me too, by the way. But there's like, you know, things carry over. There's a rollover. If you're playing like a Skins game or something, it's like, okay, this doesn't carry over. I think you guys won 2 national championships.
That's right.
Yeah. Because last year, because last year's was bundled into this one. I think you won 2 there. To win the championship when you had to go into the bubble and then all season with the COVID protocols, and it hit you guys. What is it? How big of an adjustment is that as a coach, as an organization? Because everybody has to go through it, but it's okay to acknowledge sometimes, like, okay, this sucks, though. Was there any of those moments, or was it, hey, we got to get on?
Well, you know, when we had the 21-day pause, I mean, we were undefeated. We were playing tremendous. And then as a coach, you're worried, like, okay, wait a minute. Are we going to be able to get back in time for March Madness? And one thing from talking to a lot of coaches, they said it's going to take 2 weeks and 4 games. Well, when we came back, we played 6 games in 14 days. So you really didn't get a chance to practice. And it was a blessing when we lost in the Big 12 tournament, because for the first time we were able to practice. And as you know, if you don't do anything for 3 weeks, if you don't putt for 3 weeks in golf, you're not going to be able to putt. Well, we didn't practice defense for 3 weeks as far as closeouts, rotations, and being able to practice. And then the bubble really was a benefit, because then you didn't have to travel. And because you didn't have to travel between rounds, we could actually practice. And this is where I know you were talking about Belichick and different coaches. And for me, we had a player-led team, which is always the best in my opinion. And those guys understood the importance of us practicing to get back to where we were, because analytically we were a top 3 offense in the country. Defense, we were a top 3 defense prior to the pause. And then after the pause, our defense dropped to 44th just because we hadn't had a chance to practice. And then credit the guys really practicing hard, getting back to form. And you said you saw the Houston game. I mean, we were playing our best basketball at the end because of that. The bubble, I'm telling you now, you would have loved it. We're playing cornhole. We're playing Connect Four. We got karaoke night. I mean, we had a blast with the guys. You would have loved it.
Hey, there was, hey.
You might have got your butt kicked in Connect Four, though, because our guys really were good.
Listen, I am a Connect Four champ. Okay, and that cornhole, too. I mean, imagine the cornhole. Oh. I mean, I would have been good with the bubble, though. Like, just the thought. Yeah. Like, for me, the quarantine, I don't leave my house much anymore. Like, but the thought of that I could go to the movie theater was like always, you know, like whenever that was taken away, I think a lot of people were like, this sucks or whatever. For your team to buy in, and also for you to think ahead and be like, hey, this could potentially mentally be wearing on the guys not being able to do anything in this bubble. Because there were some teams that did not have the cornhole karaoke night, did not have the Connect Four and things like that. Did you have to plan that? Like, you have to think ahead, I'd assume. Like, these guys, we're going to be here for a long time, by the way. Our team, we are going to be here for a long time. We got to play. Is that something you legitimately had to plan for? Did you have meetings for? Was it?
Coaches we got to lay down the vision. We got to think ahead. That's our job. But first and foremost, after not having the NCAA tournament last year, and one of the hardest things all of us coaches said was going to tell our team, I mean, as you know, not everybody's playing the NBA. So March Madness is what you spend your entire high school, elementary, junior high career working for.
Yeah.
And after not having March Madness last year, we were so excited to play in March Madness. Bubble, we could have been stuck in a closet for 4 weeks. Everybody loved having an opportunity to reach their goals and dreams in March Madness. So hats off to the NCAA, Dan, Gavin, his group coming up with that. Second of all, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so I call a lot of people that I love and respect. Dabo Sweeney had a lot of great ideas that we took. And because, they're used to being in the playoffs and traveling and doing those things. So one thing I'm really blessed at, the coaching fraternity, coaches help each other. And but you got to ask. And I definitely asked.
Man, it's always nice to have the courage to ask for help. And I assume on the other side, Dabo was like, man, I thought nobody would call me.
Hey, Campbell had us in his bracket, so he was really happy with you. In his house, he's the man, so it's all good.
Well, that's Dabo with the drip. That's what he did on TikTok, obviously. Coach, I love your energy. The thought of, because Bob Huggins obviously is known as like a hard-nosed coach, right? And then you have Calipari, Coach K, Roy Williams just retired or whatever. Now, being around the game of basketball, I assume especially with 18 years and learning in the Big 12, has your coaching style had to change? Have you always been, I assume you're a player's coach, by the way. Have you always been that way? How have you kind of evolved as a coach, you think, over time here?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing with the difference with players nowadays, like when you played, a coach said do it, and you said okay. Nowadays, you say do it, they want to know why. And if you explain the why and they buy in, then coaching's easy. But if you miss that step, it's not so easy. As far as energy, I'm like you. God's blessed us every day. We don't have many days on this earth. We're going to make the most of it.
Yeah, we are, Coach.
Optimistic and positive. That's how I am. So we approach every day as a blessing and get after it. Coaching wise, obviously, I think I've gotten better over the years because no doubt playing against elite teams night in and night out and coaches in the Big 12, I tried to take something from each of them. Coach Huggins, for instance, offensive rebounding, both of us have been two of the best in the nation for, the last 6, 7, 8 years. And a lot I've learned from him and his teams and going against them. So try to take something from everybody and then at the end of the day, put our players in the best position to be successful and have a chance to win. And obviously win a national championship and don't get much better than that.
Yeah, I would assume. Your guys were just filthy. That Gonzaga team, and I don't know much, but they look like they maybe were the most fundamentally sound team of all time. They were moving on a string defensively. It seemed like they're passing and weaving. They were getting bunny layups for the entire. Now you just see you later, Coach. Coach, come back. Please don't leave us. Your screen just went black, Coach.
I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm happy you're still here.
Such a good job explaining. Keep going.
But anyways, it seemed like their passing was leading to like bunnies for them all the way through. Even in the Final Four, it was happening there. Going into that game, did you have a really good feeling that just not only the fundamentals of defense, but the athleticism of your team was going to be able, did you have a really good feeling going into that game? I would assume you did, but they looked unbeatable at times.
All right, so before every game, a coach obviously puts together a game plan. And if you feel like you execute it, things are going to work out. At the same time, if you don't have those jitters, you don't have those nerves, you're probably going to get knocked out yourself. So did I know we could win? Absolutely. Did I believe in our guys? Absolutely. But that's the beauty of March Madness. It's a 40-minute game. And when it's a 40-minute game, the best teams don't always win. In the NBA, it's 4 or 7. So the best team's going to win. And you just never know. Some nights you make shots, some nights you don't. That's why defense and rebounding is so critical on nights you don't make shots. But I knew we were going to play as hard as we could because that's what our guys do. And I see that Colts football right there. Like Tony Dungy was one of the guys to talk to our team. I love Tony Dungy. He's one of my favorites. So shout out to Tony Dungy. His whole family was wearing Baylor gear. I think he picked us too.
Tony Dungy, Dabo Sweeney. I mean, it's a very smart idea to reach out to these people, and I assume they're going to continue to reach out to you as well to maybe get some information. The thought of March Madness, though, and you can lose and everything like that, and not only the best team doesn't win, normally runs happen. Like, it's a game of runs normally. That's kind of how it goes. Both with the Houston game and with Gonzaga, it looked like they were supposed to go on runs, like a couple different times. And it felt like your team literally just, and I made the metaphor, it was like a Christmas Story when Ralphie climbs up the slide to tell him he wants a Red Ryder BB gun or whatever, and Santa just kicks him back down. That's what you guys basically did to every Gonzaga run. How do you coach that? Because that seemed to happen every game.
By the way, I heard about that. Our SID thought that was really creative.
Okay, good. Shout out to SID down. Shout out down there. But how do you coach
hero,
that?
Man.
No. But how do you coach that? How's that happen?
Well, again, it starts with you got to have a mature group, because if you don't have a mature group, they don't move on to the next play. They're stuck in the last play, and if you have a great highlight and then you give up a dunk on the other end, it's 2-2. You haven't gained anything. So our guys are next play mentality guys. And then with that, if you have a solid defense like we do, hopefully that keeps away people from making runs. And we didn't turn the ball over, which helps. In any sport, you turn the ball over, it's not that leads to easy points on the other end. And we were phenomenal at taking care of the basketball. But you look at it before the pause. I mean, I don't know what our closest margin victory was. It might have been 9 points. And then after the pause, when we came back in the tournament, I think we averaged 15, and the closest was 9 points. I mean, this group was really dominant, and they deserve a lot of credit.
Hey, we were dominant. Hey, what do you have, Connor?
No, the team was dominant.
Yeah. No, but you were, though. And I actually, the day after the national championship, I was like, I don't know how I missed this Baylor day. This is everything the mullet, the guy, Mayor. Yes. Oh my God, with the mullet and the athletics and just that team was beautiful. What do you have, Connor?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned that this year's squad was a player-led team. Was it the mullets on the team that were kind of leading the charge, or who was the guy that was kind of the leader there?
Well, I can tell you, first of all, none of us coaches are blessed enough to have enough hair to grow mullets anymore. But we really were with more the guards, the upperclassmen. I mean, Maceo Teague was a fifth-year guy. Mark Vital was a fifth-year guy. Pat, I know you love Mark Vital.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, I know you love
Vital,
man.
Oh, you had to, pal.
And then Davion and Jared. I mean, those guys. It was really a group. It wasn't one guy. They loved one another, respected one another, listened to one another, and iron sharpens iron. So, I mean, it was great.
Yeah, you got to go against the best. Iron sharpens iron to be the best team. Ty, what do you have?
Coach, with the free year of eligibility from COVID, how has that affected recruiting? Like, will you spend the same amount of time trying to bring new guys in, or do you have a couple guys who had, like, a great run and it's maybe convincing them, hey, come back for another year instead of going to the NBA draft?
Yeah, that usually doesn't happen. The NBA draft wins.
So, hey, how good of a recruiter are you? How good of a recruiter?
Hey, we're good recruiters, but we're not that good. Right? And at the end of the day, us coaches, I mean, our goal and our dream is to help our players reach their goals and dreams. That's why we do what we do. Yeah. So in a lot of cases, we do what's best for them. If it's best for them to go to the NBA or move on, that's what we want, if what makes them happy. We'll obviously visit with our guys. We wanted them to enjoy the celebration. We have a parade on Tuesday, and then after that, we would talk with our guys. But in life, so many times you move on to the next thing and you forget what's currently in front of you and what's happening. And, this is only the second team in the state of Texas to win a championship since 1966. The last one they did the movie on, Gory Road in Texas Western. So it's great to bring in a national title back to the state of Texas, because there's so many great players, programs in the state, and we're going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, you should. Don't forget to stop and smell the roses every once in a while. Happy you're preaching that to the team. You got to
I like that.
Hey, what do you have, Gumpy?
Yeah, Coach, you called your shot when you got hired that you were going to bring a national championship to Baylor. So how good did that feel to come through on that?
Well. First and foremost, the longer you coach at places, you don't really remember the past. I was like, man, that was a long time ago. If they said, "What'd you think when you saw that?" and I said, "What took so long to win that national championship?" Because when you're young, you're dumb. But I know, it's a blessing to see. Coaching is like parenting, as I've said, and when you see your kids happy opening presents at Christmas time, you're happy as a parent. And to see all the Baylor family being able to celebrate this and be excited about this, I know our staff couldn't be any more proud and happy for everyone.
Well, Coach, we can't thank you enough for taking time out of the celebration down there in Texas. You're the best, man. I've really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for stopping by.
Hey, and anytime you want to come down and jump in the Brazos during a basketball season again, it's a little colder. That's your cold tub, all right?
Head coach Scott Drew. Thank you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That was awesome. Jeez. I had no idea what to expect.
I love that team.
Guy.
Love that
All right, let's
team.
go Baylor Bears.
Here we go.
Hey, let's go back to back here.
Hey, that parade down the Brazos, like the Buccaneers, they're going to be doing.
I'll tell you what, that water is dirty. Let's get to a break, shall we? 46 minutes into hour one here. We'll be back on the other side to close it out. Big thanks to head coach Scott Drew. He was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's the Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, April 8th.
The punter of the decade in the National Football League and great picker and also dressed for the occasion, Mr. Pat McAfee. Good morning, Pat.
Hey, good morning, boys. You look fantastic there. You guys look absolutely wonderful. Augusta looks fantastic this morning. This is, by the way, golf championship, no big deal. Me and Aaron Rodgers beat Chris Paul, J.R. Smith, Del Curry, and the boys down in the Bahamas. This is at the Greenbrier Classic and obviously the Masters. I'm a big golf guy. I would never be allowed on the Augusta field, but I'm pumped to be here. Since we're at the Masters, let's get all the money out and let's do what we need to do here, okay? There is a jungle cat lurking down there in Georgia. It doesn't matter if it's the first 9, the second 9, if there's any humans in the patrons observation posts or not. It doesn't matter if he ends up in the bunker when that red shirt is moving on Sunday. You hammer Tiger Woods to go back-to-back at the Masters. That is an absolute lock. He's 5 under. He just finished his second round about 10 minutes ago. You're welcome. Golf, college football, magic here on College Game Day.
Bear, what do you have?
That was a lot, Bear.
Do I go golf? Do I go foot? Like, he's only 4 back. I think he's got a lot.
He took a shot at you, Bear. You're back-to-back over.
But that's a lot. It's a lot. I'm allowed to get shots taken at me when I put up.
By the way,
Look what he's doing with the.
Oh, are you kidding me?
That's
Look
solid.
at this. Look at you.
Bear, you
This is an
stink.
athlete.
What doesn't he do? He plays as golf
He
tricks.
said you suck.
I do stuff. That's right. Dead right about that. And he's back. You gave me a shot. He gave me. It's good.
By the way, how about his sneaky
I got no shot at
athleticism sitting there and just dribbling the
like
golf
it's
ball?
nothing.
Yeah.
All that time he spent with Peyton. Right.
Exactly.
Crafty. And by the way, here's another thing. Peyton, Roger Goodell, and Rob Manfred are just following Tiger Woods around. Every time Tiger Woods was on the sideline for a game that we were playing, Peyton always played his absolute best. Like, they're the most uber competitive humans. It's like they're trying to one-up each other. For that reason and that reason alone, the fact that the sheriff, the man who's 6'5" with a laser rocket arm, is just walking around the Tiger behind him the entire time, I think that makes Tiger even better. And that's why it's a definite lock in this entire thing.
The sheriff.
There's for no other reason whatsoever other than to take a shot at my guy.
Yeah.
TCU today.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Absolutely.
You are the worst, Bear. That's why you're 0-6, Bear. That's why you're 0-6.
More from back.
McAfee at the top of the key. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Step back. 3 for the win. It's good! Splash! It's not Sunday because the bank is open!
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Shout out for that bumper back into this show. Welcome back here on Sirius XM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. The Masters are still happening. Bubba, Brooks, and Votland.
Oh, yeah.
Are on the green. I don't know how they're doing.
Hovland.
Who?
Victor Hovland.
Yeah, V. Hovland.
Hovland. He had a triple bogey to start this thing. He has since gotten pretty hot. Good for him. The Masters are happening. Shout out to head coach Scott Drew. Hey, he was awesome.
Great interview.
He was really, really cool. I would like to talk to that dude again. He had no clue, and we talked about this during the break. He had no idea where he was sitting on the thing. If he would have just moved that other way, it would have been great for all of us. But I think he was so focused on the conversation, so much enjoying the moment, he didn't even realize that half of his face was being cut off from most of that conversation.
It also seems like he's a fan of the show. He said,
He's awesome.
hey, I heard your line. That was great.
Hey, hey, that was really good.
I don't think he wanted to cover up center court either. Maybe that was why.
Yeah, give a good shot to that. By the way, first national championship in Texas since 1962. He said, what a little stat there they probably found while they were flying back home. They're like, hey, just a quick heads up, coach. The state of Texas is a big one. A lot of schools. A lot of schools playing a lot of sports. First national championship really in the state since 1962 or whatever. It's like, whoa, that's huge. With the University of Texas right there.
See, that's just for basketball, right?
Oh, is it just
because Texas won a
USC.
national
Okay,
championship.
so football. Yeah, oh yeah, Vince Young. Yeah.
Still, though, hey, a lot of basketball has been played
Some
since then.
very good basketball teams in Texas.
Yeah, I guess University of Texas used to be good, and then they got the guy from the Commonwealth.
Yep.
Texas Tech.
He's out.
He's out. He used to be great.
They
Yeah,
got the
Beard.
Beard
He's
now.
Beard diner at Texas Tech. You know,
He's with
gone.
Texas.
He left and went to Texas.
Jump ship.
Because remember, he had that electric moment with Bob Huggins where he got kicked out, goes over and gives him a fist bump, lays on the court, then gets kicked out. Now he walked right off of that court right to Texas. Where's Shaka going?
Marquette.
Yeah.
They're going to win again. Shaka's going to be able to. I guess the big thing is he couldn't run the offense or whatever shit he was running at Texas. He's going to run at Marquette, I guess, and it's going to be a whole game changer. Welcome back, Shaka Smart. Anyways, before hour one wraps up here, there was a tweet put out giving us an update on Julian Edelman. Now, this is very interesting. At My Sports Update says there's a report that the Patriots wide receiver Julian Edelman has been hampered by knee issues for the better part of 2 years, and it is considered doubtful he will ever be able to play a full season without it becoming a problem again. Okay, so it's probably like a hairline fracture or something in there. This is just immediately from me reading that they don't think they're going to be able to cure it. There's a couple things that you can do to your knee where all the rehab on earth is not going to cure it. It's basically a pain tolerance, and then it gets worse and worse to a point where you can't play or can't move it with every rehab. If that's the case, he's been doing it for the last 2 years. Julian Edelman has been a miserable football player for the last 2 years. That is terrible. The rehab is zero fun. He's spending his life in the training room. I assume this is why last year he took games, he's out, and then they inevitably ended the season or whatever. That is not an easy thing. But I love the fact that Julian Edelman is still pushing through, still playing, still has it, because that is not a fun existence at all. I would assume that Bill Belichick wasn't excited when he heard this news, but it's also probably why he decided to spend $157 million in guaranteed money in like 12 hours or whatever to get more weapons in there.
Yeah, it'll cost them like $2.5 million to cut him, but they'll also save $3.5 million. But the article said if he does stay and play, he'll only be able to play in like 3 to 4 game spurts, and then he'll have to miss at least one game after that. So you think it's worth, as far as like culture and
13 games?
Yeah.
You don't think that's enough?
Well, I mean, that's like the
most.
What are you saying? I'm saying I don't think he's even going to make it that far.
Why?
Because he had 5.5 last year.
Yeah, but also with the way the season was going last year, there was probably a decision made that was like, hey, this guy is in terrible pain whenever he's playing, and we stink.
Yeah, and that time off didn't help at all, though.
Perfect amount of
Well, you can't
games.
cure it. It's not something. I don't think it's curable. That's why they're saying it's all like you have to like rehab it, like maintain it almost
Every week.
Yeah, it's like a full thing. Damn. Yeah, it sucks. That would not be fun at all. Shout out to Julian Edelman though, Hall of Famer in my book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hour one's wrapping up here. Big thanks to Scott Drew. We'll see you in about 6 minutes on the other side of this break. We got some big shit popping in the second hour, including your phone calls. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. I cannot wait to hear from you. We'll see you in 6 minutos.
We are in the go-home stretch to WrestleMania. Seth is very invested in making sure that Cesaro comes out on the other side of this looking like $1 million.
Hey, from your lips to Vince's ears. They take a guy in Miro who should have been brought in as somebody who destroys people, and they made him into Twitch gamer guy.
The almighty champion that you're building, Bobby Lashley, why are you having a 2-segment match with a cruiserweight going into WrestleMania?
I think he's terrific, and I think he's going to be in a wheelchair.
Oh, Jesus.
Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. That has been done in spectacular fashion. I've joked around that the loser has to go to Raw.
The guy's name is Shane McMahon. If he was Shane Stevens, he'd be a really hopped-up dancing guy that throws a pretty mean punch.
No two people have ever been less funny that thought they were funny than Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. I think everyone should listen to me on every subject. That's all I'm saying.
Welcome to Aaron Dahn! Dahn! The #1 sports gambling podcast coming out of the Pat McAfee Incorporated offices is now live 5 days a week at 4 p.m. Woo! With me and Bubba Gumpino and a host of a cast of characters and guests. We're going to try to get guests every single day. We'll be covering all the gambling knowledge that you need. MLB, NBA, football, footy. Anything else, pal?
Everything. Guess, baseball, basketball, footy. We'll even dive into NFL futures coming up. And most importantly, winners, Tony.
Winners, we are hunting winners every single day, live, 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. You can find us on our own YouTube channel. Search us, Hammer Dahn on YouTube. Coming to you live every single day, 4 p.m. Hammer Dahn!
Did you hear everything that was being said whenever you were potentially...
Just from you.
Oh, so you did hear it. Yeah. Okay, so let's address it.
Hold on.
All right.
You can be a hater.
No.
And you can change.
Carson.
You can change. We can change.
No, at the moment I was at, okay, Carson. You know, with the Daily Show, the live Daily Show, you know, we can potentially get referred to as prisoners of the moment. You probably did hear me say some things. That was at a much different time.
Backtrack a little.
No,
it's cool. We're here face to face. You can change. People change, all right?
By the way, you are much bigger than I thought you were.
Oh, yeah.
When Jalen gets drafted there, was that the beginning of it all? Was there a miscommunication? What happened between you and Doug? Because they were saying it was fractured beyond repair.
Yeah.
What happened there? Is all of that accurate? Is that all kind of getting blown out of proportion?
Yeah.
And where did it start?
For one, I don't like to ever come out and say reporters aren't telling the truth because I don't. But
Orlovsky does it.
I'm not. I'm not going to dispute every report that's out there. You know, the way the season went obviously wasn't ideal. When Jalen was drafted, that had no bearing on me. I trusted the organization. Okay. I signed that contract. You know, I was devoted to them, and I felt like they were devoted to me. So I trusted the pick. You know, that had no bearing on my confidence or my abilities. You know, the season unfolded not how I would have liked it. Personally, I could have played better. We lost a lot of games at the end and just didn't fall into place the way we wanted. But there's a lot to learn from it, you know, as a man, as a player, and all those things. And, you know, I have still a lot of respect for Coach Peterson, and I think without a doubt those reports are very exaggerated. Like I said, I don't hear a lot of them. They come to my attention from my agents or different things.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of respect for him, and it was unfortunate for everybody and how the whole thing kind of just went down.
There was a couple still shots that made its way around where you and Doug Peterson appeared to be giving each other a nasty look.
Yeah, I saw those.
It's not true.
Not true at all.
Oh, you were not saying, I wish you died.
I don't even think I was looking at him in those shots. So I did see that. I'm like, of course they're gonna play this one up. They're gonna make a story out of anything. That's how it is. So, but yeah, that's not true at all.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear you weren't giving Doug Peterson death looks. Like, you never thought, like, oh, football isn't for me. Like, there was never a thought where I don't like football anymore, or I don't want to be in this bullshit league anymore with this business. There was never a thought like that?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The way the season went, I mean, it was frustrating. And
People
so
have those moments.
that's why I stepped away, and it almost rejuvenated me. You know, it's almost like last year pissed me off so much. I want to come back in a different way and do everything I can. I am thrilled to be here and to have this new start, new opportunity. And the community seems amazing. The fan base seems amazing. Like we said, it seems like the perfect fit.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 here on this Thursday, April 8th, 2021. First day of the Masters will begin right now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. There is some news coming out of the NFL.
Ooh.
The insiders have a chance to continue to work and earn the incredible following they all have. The money they get paid to have conversations with people in the know and leak that information by saying, sources say. Ian Rappaport is reporting that Teddy Bridgewater has interest from numerous teams in potentially trading for him out of Carolina. It was reported immediately following the Sam Darnold trade to the Carolina Panthers with the 5th-year option of Sam Darnold, which is an $18.8 million guaranteed money from Carolina to Sam Darnold, that they told Teddy Bridgewater that he can seek a trade anywhere he wants. Now reports are coming out that numerous teams were interested. Dove Kleiman is reporting that per Ian Rappaport, multiple teams are interested in trading for Panthers quarterback Teddy Bridgewater per Rappaport. Teams that are looking at him are looking for a really good quarterback backup to help their starting quarterback.
That's right.
Okay.
Cannot read.
For that.
Yeah, it's tough.
Cannot read the screen at all. Yeah, can't read the screen at all there. But anyways, they are looking at him as a backup. His $18 million contract, which has a $10 million guarantee next year. It was being talked about by Rappaport yesterday that there's a chance to potentially renegotiate that, restructure that, however they will do it. So that means maybe Teddy Bridgewater's people have told Rappaport that he's open to potentially restructuring his contract to facilitate a trade. Does that mean he would rather be a backup somewhere else than a backup in Carolina? At this point, we don't know what's real and what isn't, but it feels like there is interest in Teddy Bridgewater, and good for Teddy Bridgewater. Maybe he'll get a chance to find a home that he can maybe earn another starting job again.
If he's down to renegotiate, I think New England would love to have him, especially with all the draft talk and, trading up. That'd be a perfect guy to compete with Cam Newton.
Just 2 days ago, they were going up to get Justin Fields. Remember that entire pitch? That has ended, right, with the Patriots?
Well, after, reading what Michael Lombardi and Tom E. Kern were talking about, it does feel as though the quarterbacks in this draft that would be available for New England are not trade-up worthy.
Okay, and what does that mean, what you just said?
That means we do not have a future at the quarterback position at the moment.
Okay. All right. So Tommy Curran, NBC Sports Boston, who covers the Patriots for a long, long time, friend of the show, had a conversation with friend of the show, Michael Lombardi, whose son works at the Patriots. He formerly worked at the Patriots as a consultant to the head coach or something like that, was a GM in the NFL. Has been there, done that. Lombardi told Tommy Curran that there's no way that they go up there and get, basically is what he said, right?
Well, yeah, and last time Lombardi was on here, I mentioned Justin Fields, and he almost destroyed his computer because of the idea of the Patriots trading up to get him.
Okay, so they have Cam Newton for next year at least. Jared Stidham, you've completely given up on.
Hey, look.
No. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it right now.
But
you have completely given up on him. Teddy Bridgewater, they're going up there to be a backup for Cam Newton and potentially, earning the job in practice? Is that what you would think would happen? Or Cam just potentially play like how last year ended or looked for most of the season with Cam Newton, then you just put Teddy in there and see how it goes? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, it doesn't seem like Cam's going to have like that 8 to 9 week window to figure it out. I feel like it's going to be a much quicker, like, hey, there's 4 weeks here where you need to pedal to the metal, go, or else we'll go with whoever's behind you.
And we assume Cam Newton is going to be much better this year than he was last year. Yeah. There was 0 weapons last year, zero. Just like kind of what Tom Brady was saying whenever his last year in New England was, we don't have any weapons up here. But last year's Cam Newton was not indicative, I think, of what we're going to see from this year's Cam Newton, especially now with all the weapons that they've acquired and added to their team. So the thought of Teddy Bridgewater going up there and maybe also succeeding if Cam doesn't, definitely. But if he's willing to restructure, like you said, for the Patriots, I assume there's a lot of places that are like, if we can get Teddy Bridgewater as a backup, let's go ahead and do that right now. What do you have, Nick?
What about the Jets, a place he was before? Regime change, could come back. He's familiar with New York, maybe. Nothing
matters with regime change about him going back because, I mean, it is very open that when the new GM comes, you might as well just name the team after that GM all of a sudden. Like the facility, the culture, it's just like, here you go. Now, there's some places that have been able to pass the torch, but the Jets, who are going to have a rookie quarterback in Zach Wilson, allegedly, hey, there was reports that maybe the Jets haven't locked in who they have, and there's actually been little to no interest in trading up for 2, even though there was a king's ransom for number 3 with Miami for the San Francisco 49ers. It was reported that the Jets have not had much interest from anybody else to come and get it. So it was like, are they sold on Zach then? Who knows on that? Maybe Justin Fields, by the way, is actually the number 2, and they've been playing this whole thing coy. But whatever the case, if they're going to have a young quarterback, bringing in Teddy would be a great move as a backup quarterback. That's a great place for him.
Yeah, I think Ty mentioned yesterday Denver would also be a great place for Teddy with the wide receivers they have. And
they've been in a quarterback market.
Yeah.
How about Indianapolis?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, if he wants to restrike. We have Jacob Eason. Yeah. Okay, Jacob Eason, I guess he's potentially a very good player. I've not seen a lot out of him. His fans, though, have tweeted at me a lot saying, hey, you got the guy.
He's good.
You already got the guy. They don't need to bring anybody else. This guy, okay, maybe we'll see if that ends up happening, and maybe he is, and it's not, being used in the proper fashion. But him coming here to be backup for Carson, I mean, are you kidding me? That is a beautiful thing.
You hit the nail on the head, though. Like, why would he orchestrate a trade just to go be a backup somewhere else? Like, does he think he can't beat Sam Darnold out? Like, obviously,
no,
the way
he can't beat Sam Darnold. I think it's.
You think it's like a done deal?
When
there is no competition.
$18 million.
Yeah, when they agreed the 5th-year option, and when they traded what they traded, it just feels like
his time in Carolina is done.
And also, they tell him he can seek trades. I mean, they're not telling Sam Darnold you can now seek trades.
True.
You know what I mean? So it feels like the picture has been painted for Teddy Bridgewater that maybe, I don't know if Teddy doesn't feel like he couldn't beat Sam Darnold. I think that'd be a great competition. I personally,
for sure.
I personally believe that. I guess Sam has a chance, but I think that'd be a great competition. But it feels like it's not a whether or not he could beat him. It's like, you're not even getting a chance to get into the race, really.
Right.
So, actually, we would like you to be traded because it kind of dissolves some issues we potentially might have, with confidence and who's what and how things are going. Robbie Anderson talked about getting unified back with Sam Darnold. In listening to him talk, he obviously talked about how they got better and experience together in communication, but it also felt like he didn't want to say anything like, hey, me and Teddy had some big plays.
Yeah, he had a great year.
It felt like, that's a situation that could potentially brew for the Carolina Panthers. I'd assume they would like to get a deal done somewhere, somehow.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
He's trying to make his way back to New Orleans if he's willing to restructure.
willing to restructure. I'll go down to New Orleans. I can be Jameis's backup. Or, by the way,
he was 6-0 as the starter.
Yeah,
there.
we went undefeated together as well.
Yeah.
Know the offense, still feel pretty good about it. But within the division, if the Carolina Panthers want to get rid of Teddy so bad that they trade him within the division, I mean, then that's. We learned a lot there, okay? We learned a lot there. But that would be something that I think Matt Rule and Pepper, who's the owner? Pepper? What's the
David Tepper.
Tepper? Not Pepper. Tepper the Pepper on
They call him.
He's hot. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He's not a Carolina Reaper down there in Carolina. But the Pepper's one that kind of gets involved. You know what I mean? If he was to send Teddy back to New Orleans and Teddy was to somehow dominate for the next 10 years for the Saints, I mean, that'd be tough for the Pepper to swallow. You know what I mean?
They probably won't do it, but like Chicago, I feel like Teddy and Dalton, that could also be like a good competition.
They also got Foles still there. I mean, how many quarterbacks can you collect?
They'd have to trade Foles, for Teddy, maybe straight up.
Quarterback factory in Chicago.
10 quarterbacks.
Speaking of quarterback factory, Philly is a place where he could work too with Jalen.
Oh yeah, because they came out and said, This is Jalen's team. Then they said, well, maybe we'll trade up.
We're looking at QBs too.
Philadelphia, this is something that happens, by the way. And I think it's the video game culture, and I think it's an analytics culture. I think that potentially feeds this narrative. There are people that have positions, and they only view the numbers. They only view the humans basically as objects, and it's just like there's people in a lot of positions that do that. They view humans as objects, and they don't think about the human part of it at all. Like they don't think about, okay, to build a team, like, all right, what do we need? Okay, you need a glue guy. All right, we need a team that rallies together. They don't understand the psychology part and how the personality part. Scott Goldman's point yesterday about how you need to set people up for success, not just in a physical fashion, but also in an emotional capacity. And whenever we talk to Big Bag Brandon Bean, the Bills GM, when Cam Newton was potentially available, I asked him, I was like, did you guys even think about potentially bringing in Cam Newton? And he said, no. We want Josh Allen to know we're building the team around Josh. Josh Allen needs to know that we are. And I was like, oh, that's very intelligent to be like, hey, we want our guy to know that you're our guy. There's a lot of people, not just in sports, but in business and everything else, that don't understand that that's a very valued thing. Like that's a very real thing. And I think the Philadelphia Eagles could potentially be falling into that trap because they do have a man who's an accountant running as the GM as opposed to somebody that potentially is a team builder. Right. Because everything can potentially look good, but you got to remember it's not a Madden score on the other side there. It's a human who potentially has emotions and feelings and can potentially look at somebody and go, oh, fuck you. You're not trying to help me out. That happens in the real world. That's what's different from the analytics. It feels like in Philadelphia that has not happened, and I'm not saying I know the people that are making decisions there. I'm just looking from the outside in. It feels like they don't understand that you got to be able to build something if you want to be great. You can be a good team by collecting just analytically and stat-wise. You can be good business just by collecting, this does numbers, this is good. But your team will never, ever beat the teams that really come together and play for each other. And I think that is potentially a problem in Philly. So maybe Teddy Bridgewater does get traded in there, and they even let him maybe run a meeting or two, and then let Jalen run a meeting or two, and then in the locker, just let the entire locker room know, we're not sold yet.
We don't know.
Remember, Doug Peterson's gone. Yeah. Okay, we got rid of Nate Sudfeld. We thought he was potentially the answer. They don't understand. There's a real thing about, empowerment of people. And I think at the quarterback position, it's very, very important. And there's a lot of places that are just kind of throwing darts. Well, if we just acquire enough people, that'll make sense. It's now you got an entire locker room that potentially likes one player over another player strictly because that player helps them financially. You kind of create a rift. It's just, I feel personally, that you should allow a team to know who their people are. In a business, who the people are. Yeah. I feel like that's something they should do. A lot of places don't do that.
Well, and that's why it's crazy Carolina already is doing that with Sam Darnold. They're already saying, look, you're the guy. Next year, you're going to be the guy, too. Let's see what you can do.
And they told Teddy Bridgewater that kind of a year ago.
Yeah.
And that has changed a bit. But I do feel like that is a very powerful thing. I remember, Nagy.
Yeah.
I think him and Pace are people that don't fully understand this. Okay, so after the Cody Parkey miss, right? Block kick, but it was a miss. So it was a big conversation, right? Like, who's going to be the kicker? Who's going to be the kicker? A guy who was he was my only real kicking coach aside from my dad. I'd go to his camps. I'd have a good time. Jamie Cole becomes their kicking. They hire a kicking consultant up there, right? And Jamie has seen me kick field goals. He has seen me obviously punt. And not a lot of people in the NFL have seen me kick field. I got better as a field goal kicker after I got in the NFL because of Vinatieri and because of watching and working. So what I was coming out of college, when I thought I was going to be a field goal kicker, I played in the Senior Bowl as a field goal kicker. I was told by people I was going to be drafted to be a kicker, even though at that time I was nowhere near a good enough kicker to be a kicker. I thought I was going to be a kicker in the NFL. Coach draft me. Oh, no, you're a punter. It's like, okay. So I'm not scoring points anymore.
Someone just told me to stop punting.
So I'm not really, okay, so this is a very different thing. And then I get there and it's Adam Vinatieri. And I was allowed the opportunity to kick in the off days, which was good for the team, by the way, because if anything was to happen to Vinny, you could potentially have me kick or whatever. That first year something happened to Vinny, they had Matt Stover come in, and because it was just my first year and I don't think I'd gotten better enough, I think if that was like year 2 or year 3, maybe year 4 where that thing would, probably year 2 or year 3, whenever Vinny got hurt, I think they would have allowed me to do both, which has happened in some places, but at that point I wasn't good enough. But I always worked on it. I always worked on it. I never talked about it because publicly, because Vinatieri, I never wanted Vinatieri to think like, hey, I want to kick. Like, this is not, I wouldn't even kick on the same days Vinatieri was kicking because I did it one time and we almost ended up fist fighting each other. Like, it was because it was just one of those moments, So I always had the utmost respect for Vinatieri, but everybody kind of knew in the kicking world, like, okay, pretty fucking good kicker too. I'd go to these camps with Jamie Cole and there'd be some other NFL kickers there and I would just be dusting, just absolutely slaughtering. We would have guys come into training camp who would go on to other teams and not make it, but they would bounce around as kickers, and I would just dust them in practice whenever they were coming in, right? They're just a camp leg. It was something for me, like a little bit of like, okay, if I did, I could. Like, it was always like, if I did, I could. So then when Jamie gets that gig with Chicago coming off the Cody Parkey thing, there's a conversation that's had between he and I, and he's like, hey, listen, I know you enjoy what you're doing. And I said, he was actually in town and we were just meeting, having a conversation. He told me what he was about to do, and I was like, really? And he saw that I was like pretty intrigued by this whole thing, and he said, listen, I know what you got, you do what you got to do. I am, if you were to do this, obviously, like, hey, you're gonna have to take this real, like, you're gonna have to be serious, but I think it would be cool if you got to show everybody that you're also could have been Pro Bowl NFL kicker as well or whatever. I'm like, I think that'd be fucking cool too. So at that point though, I had stopped kicking balls for a long time because I didn't even want to get the urge to go back out there. Like, when I retired, I felt like if I would go back to the NFL, everybody would mock me for my decision. So I'm so stubborn. I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking pick up a ball. Okay, I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna do my thing. When that situation popped up, though, I was like, oh, maybe I could go kick. It's for the Bears. They're going to be good, allegedly. They're going to be good. They had a hell of a run. You know what I mean? It's right here. By the way, it's not that far of a trip. I mean, it was like perfect. I said, let me go see if I can kick some balls. And then let me go see if I can even do this anymore. So my wife and I would go up to this field. We'd start doing it. My legs were so sore. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, I think I could do this, So we have a conversation again, and he goes like, if this works out and you're hitting the ball well, there's a lot of things that are going to have to happen, obviously. The Colts will have to trade for you. The Colts are going to have to trade you. You're going to have to compete for the job, by the way. You're not just going to get the job. Like, it's going to be a big thing. And for me, I was like, man, I feel like I've proved myself, but I'm not going to do it. They told me that I would have been one of, they had 9 kickers there one day. All kicking from the same spot. Yeah. And then they were carrying 6, 7 kickers or whatever through training camp. And I was like, okay, so that's the last thing you should be doing. That is, well, for the kicker, even if it's not me, by the way, and it's not okay, I don't want to go compete against these people because if I'm going to be in the NFL, okay, I'm going to have to beat these guys anyways. If I want to go to what I want to do and kick, my goal was for me and Vinatieri to be in the Pro Bowl kicking against each other, AFC, NFC. I was coming back I'm going to have a perfect fucking season. I wasn't coming back just to do it. So I wouldn't have been worried about that whole thing. But after I kicked and then my knee just blew up. It felt like it was a sign, like, all right, don't go do it. Let's go ahead and put this. After I saw what they were doing and how they were doing, I wanted to send a message and be like, hey, this is the exact opposite thing of what you should be doing. Like the entire thing is mental, especially in Chicago. It's big. That kick coming off of the double doink, which is the biggest storyline in the world. The kicking position for the Chicago Bears is like an actual headline. If you have 9 guys, you're kind of making a circus out of this thing, as opposed to being like, hey, this is our guy. And I'm not saying that I thought that should have been me. After I said, like, I'm not going to do this, I almost wanted to tell him, like, hey, you should just find like two guys and just be like, hey, you're going to be, one of you two is going to be our guy. Let's go do it. They ended up cycling through, I think, like 3, 4 guys, 5 guys or whatever. They finally landed on Cairo.
Eddie Pinheiro.
Oh, Eddie Pinheiro. Yeah, Cairo. He was there.
Cairo, you're right.
Yeah, Cairo was there. Eddie Pinheiro was there first.
He got injured.
Then there was somebody else. Now Cairo's there, I think, and he's been the thing. But I think that aspect of like building somebody up, like empowering people is very powerful. And I think a lot of people don't do that. And I'll be intrigued to see who brings in Teddy Bridgewater, because it would have to be a very established starter, I think, if he's going to be the backup. If not, you're immediately starting a conversation outside the building and inside the building. Who's it going to be? And I'm not saying that Teddy Bridgewater doesn't deserve to be somewhere. I'm just saying Teddy Bridgewater, if he's just saying I'll be a backup, that's bullshit, because Teddy Bridgewater could be a starter. So there's going to be people in there that think like, hey, this guy could be the starter too. And if there's any chance, Sanchez talked about it, Darnold would have a 3 and out. He's getting booed out of the stadium. You know what I mean? Like there is a thing about like knowing that you could potentially not do well, but they're not just going to throw you to the wolves. And I think that is also something that happens with some of these organizations.
Well, so for the Broncos, like if you're Locke, are you just completely done then? Because it's clear from this whole entire offseason they don't want him at quarterback going forward.
I still think like Locke has to earn it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I don't think
he's got to prove it.
Yeah, I don't think I think that would be a great situation for Teddy to go to, by the way. A great situation. And they've allegedly been in the game on some quarterbacks and haven't got any deals done. I think that'd be great, strictly because Drew probably understands that he also hasn't proved, that I'm the guy for the next 10 years or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's when the conversation starts, though. As soon as Teddy gets in that building, though, the rest of the Broncos are going to look and be like, oh, we got a guy. We potentially got a guy here. And then all training camp, every ball thrown is getting scrutinized. You got a little bit of pressure. But if you name a starter at the beginning of the season, I think it is unfair to the starter to potentially have a quick pull. Like, for instance, the Tua thing for Fitzmagic, how hard would it be for that team to buy in on Tua? Impossible.
Yeah.
Like, hey, when this game matters, we're benching you and we're pulling in the other guy. That's tough to buy in. Now, it ended up working one time, right? And then the other time it didn't work out. But in that locker room, there's a lot of like,
who we put in our...
what's the situation we're doing? Third downs? Does this matter? Is this a third down that matters? Yeah, okay, give me Fitz. Yeah,
bring him in here.
That was a wild move by me, but by them. But I mean, to each their own. You got to do what you got to do.
So is that why you think for Atlanta, like because Matt Ryan is proven because of his contract, it's like, all right, let's just empower this guy because we are stuck with him no matter what.
I think he was impossible to move.
Yeah.
And there was people telling us, like, no, the market would be big for Matt Ryan or whatever.
Niners
immediately. It's like $100 million guaranteed or something like that coming up.
Absurd.
There's no way. Now, granted, with avoidable years and everything you could potentially do, the yada yada, maybe you could do the whole thing.
Well, and how hard is it for him too when the GM wants a quarterback and the head coach says no, let's go with Matt Ryan? Like, how do you, as a team, how do you go about that process?
Well, it feels like that was a conversation that should have been had before when you hired the coach.
It seems like they're going to have to, they're going to grow together.
I hope so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a true alpha knows when to secede. Ain't that right, Foxy?
Yes, sir.
That's what Motor City Dan Campbell said. He said, hey, we're going to disagree, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to disagree. I want to hear your information. Hey, I want to hear opinions, but if they're not better than mine, we're going to go with mine. But I love Motor City Dan. I love them. But yeah, $100 million decision. You would have thought would have been something that came up potentially in the interview process. Arthur Smith, by the way, he was on Bussin' with the Boys.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. There's no way I'd be that cool if that was my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If my dad was worth however much money he wants to create, because FedEx company can grow tomorrow and it would still have jobs because Amazon, everything's shipping. So that guy can literally create as much money as he wants. However big we want to get, we can continue to move shit for people forever. So he's worth infinity amount of money.
Yeah.
his son's just sleeping on couches in football buildings.
Certainly wouldn't be doing that.
I mean, maybe because, if it doesn't work out and you just end up being whatever low-level person, you could just, you're good or whatever.
Yeah.
But it felt like he legitimately was like, I ain't living under this shadow. And his dad was a Marine, right, or something like that, and he said he didn't want us to be soft or whatever. So it's just like, I think Atlanta's got a really good one down there.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Lewan said he was like sad, basically, that he left in that whole thing. That show, by the way, very good show. I enjoy that show a lot. Let's go to Evan in Colorado. What's going on, Evan? Oh, Evan.
Yeah, my bad, boys. My bad, boys.
That's right. You got that altitude going on over there. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Oh, shit, nothing much. Meant to shout out Caddy Z and the boys over there.
Yeah, Caddy Z. Brooks Kepka +2 today, battling through a knee injury. He'll turn it around.
Conditions are tough.
They are. This is like a USGA course all of a sudden.
Not the same Augusta.
I guess they said that some of the members were not happy with the 20 unders last year.
Can't have it.
Some of the members.
Can't have it.
Yeah, they had a meeting and the thing. You get there, you put your cell phones into a bin or whatever. You have to take off all your clothes. You get checked. You put on clothes, and then you go in there. They have meetings or whatever. And I guess a lot of people probably weren't happy with how easy the course seemed last year.
Wow. That ain't fucking happening again.
Hey, listen. We ain't. Hey, this is Augusta, right? This ain't no fucking putt-putt. 20 under?
No.
20 fucking under? Let's make this a little bit more difficult. And the head of Augusta down there, so I'll call it USGA. You know that one tournament where the players all hate it? That's what we'll do today.
Sounds good.
And that's a shame. I wish I would have got that information before I put my super boost out that Dustin Johnson, Spieth, or DeChambeau would go under 68. I didn't know that they were going to put this on impossible mode down there.
Yeah, it's still possible. DeChambeau, the way he was practiced, the other day, he might drive every single green.
Yeah, but the issue with the greens are
lightning fast.
As soon as he gets on the green, he's on the other side in the willows,
in the pine straw
the
back
bunker. What are the trees they have down there? Is it pines?
There are some pines. There's, you got your azaleas.
What is the noted? There's some noted.
The magnolia trees, maybe?
Cherry trees?
The magnolia is Chip and Joanna Gaines. But anyways, the greens are lightning fast.
Yeah.
So you got to be. This might bode well for Colin Morikawa.
Oh, I've been beating that drum all week. Nobody wanted to listen.
The iron play is who's going to win here because it seems to be tough to control in the greens. So Morikawa, who came on our show, said, I don't really, listen, I'll hit the ball far, but that's not my thing. My iron's pretty dialed in.
They're good.
Darts.
I'm a dart thrower, pal. Gonna need it.
Or the eastern red cedar trees.
Oh, the cedars. Oh, the cedars. What do you want to talk about, Evan? The cedars.
Well, y'all actually kind of already touched on it there. I was going to ask what you thought your boy Colin Morikawa was going to do in the Masters.
Were you really going to ask that?
I really was.
Wow.
This show.
Look at that.
Thank you, Evan. Thanks for the call, man.
With the analyst shirt.
So he's on the same page as me. And us, by the way. I wish I would have put him on the Super Boost. Why did that not happen?
It might have been a late tee time. Who knows?
Morikawa, I think, is with DeChambeau. So you might have seen that. They're right next to each other.
Oh, so they're going to push each other.
Uh-huh.
How does DeChambeau do that putt? I tried his putt the other day.
Oh, yeah.
The lockout arm thing. This thing, how he putts like this. You know that thing?
Yeah.
How do you not have the touch of a gorilla with that thing? How can you control how far that ball is going? How does he do it?
He just knows.
He's basically closing his eyes and hoping for the best.
That's
you
why.
think so?
Oh, yeah.
He better go low today with them eyes closed.
I think he's gonna get it done. I think because the greens are fast, he operates at a high speed as it is.
Man, I guess you just got to do it a bunch of times.
If I were to give you a recommendation on how to putt, I'm not gonna lie, that would be the last one I would give you because it takes all of the athlete out of you.
Lock it out.
Yeah, you turn into a robot, and that's what he does.
Yeah, but I think on the green, because they say golf does not care if you're an athlete.
That's right.
That's what people say. Like, that's the thing. Because I'll watch some slappies just come out here and just absolutely dominate.
Go low.
Patty Reed.
This guy can't even catch a ball if he had to. And get on a golf course where everybody hangs out at, and they're the stud.
King of the castle.
Who's the captain now? They're saying. It's tough, though. The putting is impossible.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
The only good putt I've ever hit in my life, I actually just walked up, smacked it. Didn't even line it up.
That'll happen in scrambles.
Dropped right.
Oh, yeah.
Scrambles, you just walk up to your thing,
Knock
you
down
hit
a
it.
60-footer.
Yeah.
Count it. We're playing it.
Gotcha.
Count it. We're playing
It's
it.
in the hole.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll answer some more phone calls on the other side. We got Quan, Paul, Chris. Quan and Paul are two different people.
Quan and Paul.
Okay.
Someone give it to you.
That's my thought as well. Chris, Rex, Gavin, and David. We'll talk to them on the other side. Plus, some more updates on the Masters. And there was a study done by people on the internet. I forget who it was, so I feel bad not giving them full credit. We'll do a little research during the break. The Miami Dolphins, New York Jets situations, which is, we have titled the Gase effect, which we will show you on the other side, is eerie.
Oh, yeah.
It is eerily similar. The Dolphins post-Gase and the Jets post-Gase, what their moves have been, it freaks me out, actually. We'll talk about it on the other side, and we'll answer some more phone calls. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, April 8th.
Couple people, one college kid, took a shot at my swag.
We noticed.
We know. We don't like that
I
kid.
don't think a lot of people understand what swag is. Some of this younger generation thinks, swag is just like the clothes I wear or whatever. No. The swag is a mentality.
Yeah.
Swag is a mindset. I tried to tell this to some of the guys in the locker room this week. I said swagger, which is what swag comes from. Swagger is a mindset. Swagger isn't that you have a Supreme backpack on. Or that you have your shoes, unlaced walking around with, you got your new Louis fanny pack that you make sure it's not worn at your waist, it's worn over your shoulder. That's not swag. That's not swagger. That's fashion choices. True swag is owning your inner essence. It's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And my essence on the field is that I feel like I'm a throwback player and I'm a tough guy. What I've played through, how I wear my stuff, I'm kind of a no-nonsense, straightforward. To me, that's what swag is all about.
You're damn
all
right.
this like fake swag out there. I got my special towel. I got this. I got that. I got this writing out there. A lot of you guys are just posing.
All right. Is the MCDC name tag then? Because it's a long time. ACDC. Do you hate it? Do you love it? I feel like we potentially offended you after finding out you're a diehard Metallica guy and we call you MCDC.
No. Listen, I love classic rock as well. So. I don't strike you as a numbers guy.
Yeah, whenever I heard you, I was just like, you know what? I'm not 100% sure this guy is just going to be listening strictly to the analytics guy. I just kind of a feel I had.
I got through addition and subtraction. Look, the alpha comment was really, I wasn't directing that just at myself. I was saying that's Brad too. Brad's an alpha. That's our coaching staff. I mean, let me say this about our coaching staff. One of the reasons I made the hires that I did with these guys, I know you'll probably end up asking this, was because just coming out of this COVID, I wanted to make sure we had more flexibility with the roster. And if these coaches need to play maybe a couple of games, so not everybody's thinking that way.
Right, it seems like every 3-4 years the Lions get a new head coach. It seems like the rebuilding process has been happening my entire life. 26 years old and I've never seen a playoff win for the Detroit Lions. So I want to know how you and your coaching staff plans to make this one different.
Yeah, look, first of all, I think I love Foxy, man. I tell you what, I love the optimism that he brings. Look, I would say this, to me, the short answer is Sheila Ford-Ham. If you want hope, she's the one who's bringing the hope. Because I had put serious thought into this as I was hiring my staff. I was thinking about hiring you to see if you would like to be, our special teams coach. And then I thought, you know what, I know you doing this radio, it softens you up a little bit. I chose not to. All right, I hate to say that, Pat. I needed to just let that be known.
Well, I want to let you know, true alphas know when to hang them up. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Campbell.
Give us a call at 888-MAD-DOG-6. Pat wants to hear from you. No, not really. He just ran out of things to talk about. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
That's true. That is true. We're in the middle of an interesting sports purgatory because although the Masters is happening and Dustin Johnson just chipped in, I believe.
Yeah. DJ.
We need that, DJ. Need you under 68 today, pal, for a FanDuel Super Boost.
Come on, DJ.
All we have right now is just scattered conversation about potential bullshit that could pop off or could not pop off, both being exactly the same percentage of happening.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit tough on a day-to-day, but phone calls are always a beautiful thing. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. Cannot wait to chat with the people. Let's go to Paul in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Boomer, Paul.
Hey, fuck the Sooners.
Oh! Hey, listen, I like that there is two responses, okay, from everybody in Oklahoma. It's either Sooner or, hey, fuck the Sooners.
Go Pokes.
What do you want to talk about, Paul?
Listen, my wife is a Sooner alum, so I'm praying to God she wasn't listening. Otherwise, I'll be in some trouble.
Oh, go get a
You're
snip.
dead, dude.
No. Sleeping on the couch.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Hell yeah. Hey, boy, Paul's a rebel, a maverick.
Hell yeah.
Hello, boy, Paul. What do you want to talk about, dude?
I gotta say, guys, first of all, shout out to Boston Connor. I'm also a Bostonian, born and raised.
Shout out. You're a good guy.
Stinks.
No, good guy.
Nah, this guy stinks.
No wonder he's sleeping on the couch a few times. Though.
Well, yeah. Exactly. This guy stinks.
Thanks for doing your best to represent us as best as possible, Connor.
It sounds like he's doing a great job.
I don't say that.
Sounds like he's doing a great job. Paul, what do you want to talk about, man?
Still smoking butts, Paul?
I can't believe we're this deep into the show and we haven't talked about Takeover Stand and Deliver yet.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Yeah, it was the last. By the way, I understand it was the last. Also, I think it was the last Wednesday Night War too, right? Last night was the last Wednesday Night War too. AEW going against NXT. AEW brought out all the stops to take on NXT Stand and Deliver. Their WrestleMania Takeover was last night and tonight. The Jericho promo was unfucking believable. I don't know if you saw it. Mike Tyson was cool. Other than that, Stand and Deliver was fucking epic. It was a beautiful night for NXT. The Capitol Wrestling Center looked majestic with those people in there. Paul, what were your thoughts?
Man, first of all, NXT never disappoints when they put
a takeover,
a pay-per-view together.
Agreed.
I mean, never happens.
I've made
your
a
guy.
one, so hell yeah.
Well, I do want to say thank you for what you were willing to put yourself through to entertain us wrestling stooges.
Well, by the way, I just want to let you know, anything to get the win, and those didn't happen on those two, but still undefeated if you don't count those two matches. Anyways,
Right.
I appreciate that.
Right. But your guy, Pete Dunne, is an absolute fucking savage.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, I love watching his matches, but I don't remember, I've been watching wrestling for 30-something years, I don't remember ever watching a guy where, like, when you see him do his thing, like, when he grabs a dude's fingers, I instantly start to cringe.
He's about to rip them off. I appreciate the call, Paul. NXT Stand and Deliver Takeover continues tonight. And then obviously WrestleMania weekend will continue with Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow. Then WrestleMania two-night affair in Tampa Bay, Raymond James Stadium, I believe, Saturday and Sunday. 25,000 people watching. It's a big week for wrestling. The interesting thing is normally WrestleMania week, it kind of takes over the entire city, everything. Yeah. All the other wrestling promotions normally travel to the city and they do shows from WrestleMania week. So it's like a gathering of all the wrestling communities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That hasn't been able to happen last year or this year. That means next WrestleMania is going to be a must-go.
Massive.
Hey, it is a fucking festival down there. Everybody is in the same mindset, too. We're going to be ridiculous. We're going to have a good time. And let's just do this. And the entire city is captivated by wrestling fans. It is. Down New Orleans was one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of.
Need to go back to New Orleans next year. Have to do it. Like, I mean, like, people obviously go and do Bourbon Street. If you've never been there while WrestleMania's there, it's insane. It was awesome.
We were walking down Bourbon Street, okay? And every bar is wide open, and all they're doing is playing wrestling entrance music. Okay, so every bar was playing wrestling. No chance! No chance in hell! You got the whole city. So, like, as you're walking down, which is packed, by the way.
Yeah.
Packed. There is just hundreds of thousands of people, it felt like, even though the stadium could only hold so many people, there are so many events. People get tickets to other things that are happening. So don't just go off strictly what the WrestleMania attendance number is, because there's people in that city that are there for other events and everything like that. The entire place was filled, raining.
Yeah.
It was raining. It was like a warm mist or whatever. Everybody's hammered, drunk. There's fake wrestling matches happening in the middle of a goddamn group of people. Yeah. Police are coming in trying to break them up. They think it's a fight. The police get booed out of the fucking street. It was awesome. That was my first time like getting to experience the party of a WrestleMania or whatever, I've only watched from home or whatever. Worth it. Absolutely worth the trip.
It's like the only time you'll ever go on Bourbon Street and you legitimately like don't really need to like have your head on a swivel because like no one's getting knocked out. You might get like choke slammed in the middle of a match, but like no, you're not getting cold cocked by someone.
Man,
that's the only thing that could happen though, right? Like to be that open.
Nashville. Nashville, I assume would be a good place there with Broadway. You're getting to walk down there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Pittsburgh would be cool, but the hotels are nowhere near where that would be able to be cool. Yeah, but the arena's done. It's North Shore. We're talking about going to South Side. They're actually on the North Shore. It's actually a little bit of a different place. Let's get some phone calls here. It was a good show last night, though. Mansur, your thoughts? The best wrestling show, period. The podcast that comes out of this office about wrestling, Mike Mansuri and Mark Madden do it. They released a kind of reaction podcast today. What were your thoughts on everything that happened last night?
Didn't think AEW brought their best.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, outside of Jericho's fire promo,
that was awesome.
They didn't really bring their best. Jericho's promo, though, I think won the night. NXT had the better show, but I think Jericho's promo owned the night. He's a fucking genius.
Bro, he was very good. I mean, Jericho's one of the most ridiculous humans to ever exist. Rock star professional wrestler. So just put those two together, and every stereotype that you think of both of them, he embodies somehow perfectly and owns it. I mean, it is absolute legend.
By the way, next year, WrestleMania is going back to Jerry World.
Oh, Dallas.
Yeah.
So they'll have like festivals set up in there. Because I think Jerry owns maybe like a couple square miles within a city. He just owns the entire area. The bar, there's a strip of bars and everything. I think he owns it all.
That'll be awesome.
By the way, we have a thing, we have a graphic made by Dirty Gertie, who's heading back to Virginia. Safe travels, Gertie. Good luck, Gertie. We appreciate you, Dirty, drawn to the game, Mike Gertie. He made a graphic about stadium revenues. Yeah. And this graphic was created, I think, to forecast what teams would potentially lose if there was no tickets. So on the one side, it has team revenue, and on the other side, it has stadium revenue. The Cowboys are number one. 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 So the Cowboys, they have $621 million in stadium revenue every single year. $950 total $1 million in revenue. Wow. Okay, so what's that? That's 2/3 of it. 66% comes from the stadium. This is from tickets, concessions, team stores, parking, and I forget what else was that in there. I think that was it. So that is just stadium. $621 million the Dallas Cowboys make in 1 year in Jerry World with their home games, 2 preseason games, and now they'll have an extra game in there, so that number's only going to go up. This comes after Jerry Jones. Remember, it said, I'm going to build my own fucking stadium. I'm going to $621 million a year the stadium brings in. At least. Now it's probably up to $700 and whatever million for in one season. What a run. The Patriots are number 2 for overall team revenue and also stadium revenue. $315 million stadium revenue. So almost double is what the Cowboys make off their stadium revenue. And that's because they have 700,000 people packed in there, go-go dancers, nightclubs, rock concerts happening, suites on every single level. There's suites in the locker room. I mean, he made that place a money machine. The Giants make $262 million. Never would have guessed that. Wow. Texans up there. Jets up there as well. 49ers, Washington. But the big number here is Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys revenue yearly, and this is before the 17th game was added, is $915 million. Good for him. Good for the Cowboys. Good for the NFL printing money at this particular point.
Especially because everyone's going to take that type of, blueprint, right? Will you see more of like the Jerry World, the Patriots place? Or
no, unless Bezos gets involved. Yeah. Unless owners that can do it. Jerry did it because, a lot of people do it because they get tax breaks and they take city money and they do that whole thing. So they pay for it, but it's a low percentage. I think Jerry might have done that as well, but I think it was a very small. But whenever you do that, now you got to answer to people, right? Not really, I guess. NFL owners, I don't think, answer to anybody. But whenever you take publicly funded money, whether it's city money or whatever, there's concerts that are allowed to be there. There's certain things that are allowed to happen. Yeah. Jerry, I think, and I don't remember if he did it outright by himself or like Kroenke, I think, also did it over there in LA or whatever. But a small percentage was public money, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and all the money's just coming to him every single time.
Well, and that's like the Marlins did in the MLB did that to build their new stadium, and then the people got taxed very heavily, and the team sucks, and they're like, hey, what the fuck's going on here? Like, this is bullshit.
And that's how you get run out of a. That's how you get run out of a city, basically.
Run out of time.
Yeah, because the people that aren't sports fans, that their taxes were also paying for something. Ooh. Whenever the contract it comes up, or whenever a team threatens to leave, and they're like, unless we get a new stadium or whatever, there's some citizens of cities that aren't sports fans that are like, tell them, get the fuck out. Yeah, okay. We don't have to pay an extra, $150 a year or whatever? I'm cool with that. Get the hell out of town.
Team stinks.
That's wild. Let's go to, but I think people would do it if they could. I don't think there's a lot of owners that can do that.
Capable.
Yeah, I think it involves a lot of fluid capital.
Well, and so the Raiders, did they build their stadium with the tax breaks in Las Vegas, or was it just
I would assume taxes went up in Las Vegas. Because Oakland would not build them a new stadium.
Yeah.
So anytime you see a team move, it's always under the guise that the city didn't want to Minnesota was almost out of the Vikings a couple years ago until they rebuilt that new stadium.
Really?
And remember, while they were building that stadium, it was taking so long, they were playing at the Gophers field or whatever, and it was like 20 below or whatever. They're worried about helmets cracking off of the frozen ground or whatever. It was an NFL team. But yeah, all those disputes that happen, they always happen around a new stadium. And the NFL has tried to soften those disputes with cities and say, if you build a new stadium, we'll bring the Super Bowl to you. Yeah. We'll do this whole thing, this amount of money coming. But yeah, it always involves when public money starts getting in there.
Man. $750 million of the $1.9 billion for the Vegas stadium was funded by a 0.88% hotel occupancy room tax increase.
Oh, so they actually got out-of-towners to pay for it.
Yeah. Genius.
Smart. The Vegas residents are like, we get a team and we don't have to pay for it? Fucking
sounds good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, the issue is you're not going to be able to get any of those tickets because all of those hotels that did that thing, they're also sports books and casinos, and they bought all the ticket licenses, which is what allows you to buy a ticket. You have to have a license to buy a ticket to get a seat or something. Like they're making money like three ways on those seats. And most of them are all going to the casinos in town, which is why you're going to see a lot of away teams, fans, I think, in that stadium, because it's like, hey, you want to go to Vegas and watch your boys play?
Stay at Mandalay Bay, get a game on Sunday.
Yeah, let's not go too many days, though. We learned our lesson last time. Let's go out on maybe Thursday. Ooh, it's too early.
No.
Friday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't make the game Sunday. We'll go Thursday. All right, let's go to Gavin in Big Bear, California. What's going on, Gavin?
Hey, what's going on, Pat?
Just hanging out, man. What are you up to? Hey, what are you up to, man?
Hey, I'm on my way to Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Hell yeah.
Nice. What are the rules out there for Six Flags Magic Mountain? Is there only a certain amount of people allowed to go? Do you got to have a mask on at all times? One person
Yeah, they're actually, right now, they're only allowing like 10% occupancy. So if you've got a buddy that has a season pass, they give you a day, and then they say, can you make it on that day? And it's like 10% occupancy, no lines. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, so shout out.
Dream.
Shout out for the life you're about to live over there, Gavin. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. My question was, with everything going on with the quarterback trades and whatnot, you got a team like San Francisco who's looking at this Mac Jones apparently. Why wouldn't they just want to get a veteran in like Teddy Bridgewater or even take Big Dick Nick Foles?
Yeah, so, I don't know if Big Dick Nick Foles is an upgrade over Jimmy G in their eyes.
No,
I'm not making the judgment. I'm not watching the film, okay? I'm not even getting into that debate because that seems like that could potentially be a good debate. You know what I mean? Like Jimmy G, Nick Foles. I think that's a very good. A lot of people would be like, Nick Foles, obviously. And then you're like, well, did you see last year? And it's like, well, did you see Jimmy last year? It's like, well, he was kind of hurt. I mean, so that would be I'm not getting into that. I don't want to get into that. But I don't know if that's necessarily a move that you make to make your team better. Like, hey, let's move on to do that. Teddy Bridgewater, maybe they're thinking like that. It seems as if the 49ers move all the way up to 3 so that they can get a quarterback of the future. Are they locked in on what quarterback that is? You would assume they would be if that's why they went up to number 3. But out of mixed reports coming out now, some people are saying that they're definitely going to take Mac Jones out of Alabama. Then there's people that are like, well, now they're attending Justin Fields' pro day, the second one that's happening just in a week or so. So maybe they're going to take Justin Fields. Then everybody's assuming that Zach Wilson's going number 2. What if Zach Wilson doesn't go number 2? Like, you know, what if everybody just assumes there is a chance that absolute pandemonium could happen on draft night. Now, there's a chance it couldn't. Could be very boring. Could go how a lot of pundits are kind of saying it's going. But I think the Niners are getting a young quarterback. I think that's just already locked in. That's why they make that move.
Yeah, it's too late, right? They already gave up too much to not take a quarterback of the future. And if you go with like a Teddy B, who could, play for 10 more years, but to give up, 3 first-round picks and another pick, it's too much.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
They got to be kicking themselves for not getting Brady last year.
Yeah, there was a chance they could have got Tom. Allegedly, they were in a conversation. Tom's coming home to Northern California, and that I guess they said, nah, we don't like him.
Well, they had
fucking Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Imagine if Tom Brady's on the team. You think they get the Niners get kicked out of their stadium?
Well, and would all those guys get injured? What if he goes there and that's somehow
pliability.
Debo stays.
COVID stays out.
Yeah.
Kittle's win a Super Bowl.
Do they get kicked out of town? Probably not. Tom Brady, George Kittle, and the boys go over and say hello to council. I don't know. These are things you got to think about.
Yeah.
Hindsight's a real motherfucker, man. Let's go to Steven in Dallas, Texas. Steven, what's going on? Steven Jones.
What are we doing, Pat and the boys?
Hey, just hanging out, man. How are you?
Shit, I'm alive and breathing. It's wild out here in Dallas. These people don't give a fuck about Uncle COVID.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, by the way. Have we had an update about the Texas Rangers game? Has there been any updates yet?
Checking out.
If there was, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, these people don't give a fuck. They're pretty much going to keep it moving.
That's what it feels like from watching outside in. We are hoping, though, that all went well with that game because I think it means a lot for a lot of different states, potentially.
Same.
So T's and P's for everybody down there. Hope you survive, mostly for selfish reasons, but also because I don't want to feel bad for what happened in sports being involved. What do you want to talk about, Steven?
Earlier, y'all were talking about, or you were talking specifically about how it seems like these accountants running these scam operations, like the Philadelphia Eagles, don't give a fuck about team building and whatnot. And I wonder if these owners give a fuck about their star quarterbacks, like Justin Herbert or these rookies who get in there and then they just 3, 4, 5 coaches, just one after another coming in, can't build any foundation. It seems like you can't get any momentum, and it's like. When you see a guy like Herbert, you got to just worry so much if they're going to fucking ruin him because they can't get some stability out there. I mean, at least get the kid a fucking Proactive commercial.
I appreciate you, Steven. You're an asshole at the end there, obviously. On November 3rd, 2015, I wrote this in my notes section.
Okay.
And I believe it goes hand in hand with the rise of social media. The fear of the perception of complacency has really changed the NFL immensely. Owners/GMs fear that the thought of fans thinking they have become complacent. A couple games lost, a bad season, nowadays means change has to occur. We live in an instant gratification society. We want everything now, our news, our entertainment. And what I'm referring to in this particular thing, our team's success right now all the time. This thought process is not a negative one. People should expect greatness all the time. They should expect their teams to be the greatest. There are so many cliche quotes that all contradict each other. One quote will say, live as if you won't be here tomorrow. Another says, patience is a virtue. With that being said, it's very apparent that there are so many different trains of thought. It just so happens that the ones who expect everything right now, the ones who live as if this is their last day on earth, are usually louder than the patient humans. They take to Twitter, they write in newspapers, they create blogs, and push the agenda of right now. When building a team, it could take time, but nowadays, time is not possible. GMs and coaches know that the fear of perception of complacency will cost them their job if a lack of success persists. That's why nowadays you see so many trades and moves and pieces being interchanged. Losing is awful, however it happens. But the fear of fans thinking you're not doing anything about it is the thing that drives all decision making. So that was obviously rather high on a plane. November 3rd, 2015, 11 p.m. or whatever, I wrote that it was real. That was 6 years ago I said that, and it's very real now, even more so, maybe even expedited. Whenever you talk about a turnover of a coach or a organization with a young quarterback, that might happen even more if the young quarterback is good, because they're like, oh, are we wasting? Are we wasting? Are we wasting? And by the time you get to that third, are we wasting, Sam Darnold's potentially getting traded out. We got a whole new thing. It's an interesting world. It's an interesting time to be alive. You got to hope that you hit, and you hit quick. And that's just the way it is. And I think that's the way it's going to be going forward.
Especially the players now who will say, you know what, actually, I want out. Get me out of town. Like Darnold, he kind of got pushed out, but with Watson and Wilson, if he wanted to leave, he could just ask for it. It's crazy that you wrote that 2015.
Yeah, the coaches have to be good.
Yeah.
So when you're hiring the coach, you got to really do a good job. And when you hire a GM, you got to do a really good job. And by the way, that is not easy to do. There's only a few that are great. But if you don't hit early and nobody buys in, there's a chance that you're just going to be stuck in the cycle of suck because you can't get out of your own way because your fans are demanding you to make changes to get out of your own way. Interesting. Fascinating world we live in. One of the most fascinating things I learned is that a Super Bowl champion and stud drives with both feet. We'll talk to AJ Hawk on the other side, plus more. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, April 8th.
The punter of the decade in the National Football League and great picker and also dressed for the occasion, Mr. Pat McAfee. Good morning, Pat.
Hey, good morning, boys. You look fantastic there. You guys look absolutely wonderful. Augusta looks fantastic this morning. This is, by the way, golf championship, no big deal. Me and Aaron Rodgers beat Chris Paul, J.R. Smith, Del Curry, and the boys down in the Bahamas. This is at the Greenbrier Classic and obviously the Masters. I'm a big golf guy. I would never be allowed on the Augusta field, but I'm pumped to be here. Since we're at the Masters, let's get all the money out and let's do what we need to do here, okay? There is a jungle cat lurking down there in Georgia. It doesn't matter if it's the first 9, the second 9, if there's any humans in the patrons' observation posts or not. It doesn't matter if he ends up in the bunker when that red shirt is moving on Sunday. You hammer Tiger Woods to go back-to-back at the Masters. That is an absolute lock. He's 5 under. He just finished his second round about 10 minutes ago. You're welcome. Golf, college football, magic here on College Game Day.
Bear, what do you have?
That
was a lot, Bear.
Do I go golf? Do I go foot? Like, he's only far back. I think he's got a lot.
He took a shot at you, Bear. You're back-to-back over.
But that's allowed. It's allowed. I'm allowed to get shots taken at me when I put up.
By the way,
Look what he's doing with the.
Oh, are you kidding me?
That's
Look
solid.
at this. Look at you.
Bear,
you stink. An athlete.
What doesn't he do? He played as golf tricks.
He said you suck.
I do suck. That's right. Get right about that. And he's back. You gave me a shot. He gave me. It's good.
By the way, how about his sneaky athleticism sitting there just dribbling the golf ball?
Nothing.
Yeah.
All that time he spent with Peyton. Right.
Exactly.
Crafty. By the way, here's another thing. Peyton, Roger Goodell, and Rob Manfred are just following Tiger Woods around. Every time Tiger Woods was on the sideline for a game that we were playing, Peyton always played his absolute best. Like, they're the most uber competitive humans. It's like they're trying to one-up each other. For that reason and that reason alone, the fact that the sheriff, the man who's 6'5" with a laser rocket arm, is just walking around the Tiger behind him the entire time, I think that makes Tiger even better. And that's why it's a definite lock in this entire thing.
The sheriff.
There's for no other reason whatsoever other than to take a shot at my guy.
Yeah.
TCU today.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Absolutely.
You are the worst, Bear. That's why you're 0-6, Bear. That's why you're 0-6.
More from back.
Welcome to Aaron Dahn. Dahn. The #1 sports gambling podcast coming out of the Pat McAfee Incorporated offices is now live 5 days a week at 4 p.m. Woo! With me and Bubba Gumpino and a host of a cast of characters and guests. We're going to try to get guests every single day. We'll be covering all the gambling knowledge that you need. MLB, NBA, football, footy. Anything else, pal?
Everything. Guess, baseball, basketball, footy. We'll even dive into NFL futures coming up. And most importantly, winners, Tony.
Winners, we are hunting winners every single day, live, 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. You can find us on our own YouTube channel. Search us, Hammer Dahn on YouTube. Coming to you live every single day, 4 p.m. Hammer Dahn!
That opening kickoff in that Super Bowl you're referring to with the Colts, Hester takes to the crib. You having a little bit of a heart attack there?
Very bad decision, Pat, on my part. All week up in Indy, we're practicing, and we know he's their number one threat. They don't have a lot of offensive weaponry. They win with defense and special team. So for the whole week, we're in Indy. We're not going to let him touch the ball. We practice squibbing to the corners, bouncing the ball, high kick, pop-up kickoff, punt it out of bounds. Everything to not let him touch the ball. We have a chapel service, and the chaplain talks about David and Goliath, and he says, hey, the reason David beat Goliath, he wasn't afraid. Everybody else was afraid. David ran right at him, threw it right between the eyes, and it was over. And I started thinking, we're acting like we're afraid of Devin Hester. So I told the team on Saturday night, I hope we lose the toss. We're going to kick off. We're going to kick it right down the middle. When we pound him, they'll know we mean business. David and Goliath, it's going to be over. We kicked it to him. 12 seconds later, he's in the other end. Sideline, he's looking at me saying, what idiot decided to kick the ball to Devin Hester? But fortunately, the last 59 minutes, the team made up for it.
Wait until they see the tone we set on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, that was it.
I bet you Vinatieri was sitting there.
I don't know if that's such a good idea.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon. Hour 3 here on the Pat McAfee Show. Thursday, April 8th, 2021 will begin immediately following this beat drop. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. Shout out to the Masters beginning today. Colin Morikawa, I just saw him drive right into the sand. Doesn't matter, his irons are good. These greens are impossible today. It's as if the USGA put this together. Not great for the boost we put together for somebody to shoot under 68. We still got a chance, but let's go ahead and hammer that thing. At Boston Connors here, at Bubba Gumpino has slid over. Ty has some obligations he has to get to for the weekend. At Viva Lazito, the caddy who once appeared live at the Masters is also here. And joining us, the COVID cowboy takes his saddle back. Preparation for Hammer Dahn has concluded, I assume. Joining us for third hour. What up, Diggs?
How's it going, pal?
What are we doing? Are you betting hockey today, or golf today? What do you got on Hammer Dahn?
Got a lot of golf today. I actually have Mark Leishman to win the first round, and he's -4 tied in the lead.
Let's go.
Took like 5 other guys. I emptied my entire account on the Masters today.
Yeah, I wasn't able to really get any more bets in this morning when I woke up, which is a fun little game. You know, Masters start at 7. You happen to wake up 6:30, 6:40. Yep. It's nice to frantically get into the FanDuel app and go for it. I forgot I have $0 in my account.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, $0.
Can FanDuel just help you out a little bit?
I mean, don't want it to be that way. Don't want it to be that way.
But, you know, you've donated, $100,000 to this goddamn people.
They have helped us.
Yeah,
I mean, when they became our exclusive
you could say
gambling home, I mean, they did help us. But I want to say, I have given I have given back.
Yeah.
It's a very good relationship, I assume, for them in the fashion of which what they giveth, they then taketh away
right back
with very juicy looking bets that turn out to be not so much, like the Zhazhang Demons.
Yeah.
At 7 a.m. when I wake up and they're up 2, they're going to cover 3.5.
It
Live
looks good.
bet, no problem at all.
You know, bet I know you'll love.
Go ahead.
The Pittsburgh Pirates, as you know.
Yeah.
Fucking stink, and they haven't even been close to winning any games since the first one. So if you just go against them every single game, I saw they just gave up a home run in the first today.
Yeah,
so.
why do we got the Bush League? Speaking of Bush League, by the way, it's great to have you back in the saddle, pal.
Great to be here.
Hammer Down, I believe, is going to be a tasking thing for you since you're daily live at 4 p.m. live on the Hammer Down YouTube. But if you get to the point where you're like, you know what? I think I can also, maybe just an hour, maybe 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 3 hours. But I know it's going to get tasking at some point. So we have to set up and prepare for that whenever that time comes. If you feel like you get done with your show, though, preparation, would love to have the saddle back in.
I feel like I'll get into a routine where, things just get quicker and easier.
Yeah, but it won't, though, because you're going to have to. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, as somebody who has jumped into the daily live pretty full time, there's going to come shit where you just get to the point where you're like, okay, I just want to relax for a second. Know that when you get your show done, would love to have you back in here. AJ Hawk joining us as well.
Yeah.
AJ, would you like to extend congratulations to the COVID Cowboy who now has his own daily live show at 4 p.m. Hammer Down?
Yeah, congrats, Diggs. It's good to see you back. Are you? How do you feel? Do you feel like flustered, like there's too much on your plate?
I want no congrats, and I'm not even sure I want to talk to you since you drive with 2 feet.
Thank you, Diggs. Let's get into it, please. AJ,
but thanks.
We have a poll for today. Now, the Masters has started, a lot of people would think, as a sports show. That was very nice, by the way, the pleasantries there. Thank you, and you're welcome there. I appreciate that after a good scrap, The Masters today, though, you would assume that would be the poll for the sports show. But what you did yesterday was so absurd whenever you just acted as if it was normal. We had to ask the people. Our poll for today is:
do you drive with both feet like AJ Hawk? Nope. 88%. Yup. 12%. Shocking.
Over 70,000 votes. Now, I will say, AJ, we could bury you, okay, but there's 12% of this 70,000 people that agree with you, which is alarming. We haven't known. But this has also remained at 88% to 12% for the entire vote. Since like 4,000 votes early all the way to 70,000 votes. Are the YouTube polls fugazi?
Or is Ohio just, keeping up with the polls?
We need more.
They're helping out AJ here.
Or is the early part of a poll the most accurate? It just kind of sets the tone for the whole thing. Or because it's been 88 to 12 for 2.5 hours now at this point.
Entire time.
Feels like it's potential bullshit. I think the number's a lot lower than 12, AJ. I think there's something wrong with this.
No, I think it's probably spot on. And I'm the one that admitted it. So it's not like you can't kill me about it and say and drag me. It doesn't matter. That's how I drive. I'm not ashamed of it. And the 12% of people that are on board with me, hey, welcome to the club. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot more coming over here in the next coming 3 to 6 months, I bet.
Oh, you're an influencer. Is that what you're saying?
Whoa. I'm saying maybe you have a giant platform, Pat. People love you. So when I get to come on here and let people know little tricks like that, maybe they're going to give it a shot.
How about
people can pick it up?
The fact that you're tricks are for kids, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing about it is, it's not a trick. It is the wrong way to do.
It's more efficient. It's much more efficient.
No, it's not though.
I'm all about efficiency. I don't like wasting time.
Bro, your brain thinking left foot or right foot is just as long as me think. Boom. Just going to break.
Stop.
You take out a thought. You're thinking, I got to break and I got to go to my left foot. I'm only thinking, got to break. God. You know what I mean? And by the way, it's not just me. It's 88% allegedly of 70,000 people and every human I've ever met. You're the first person I've ever met here. It is alarming, but then you flipped this thing last night in your text message. If more people drove like me, we'd probably have lower insurance rates because everybody would be a better driver because they got 2 feet in the game as opposed to 1. And I want to let you know, we do appreciate you being a hero.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, AJ. Don't be scared to take the cape off. You know what I mean?
Hey, you have that left foot. Why not use it? Just sitting there dead. It's like boxing. So boxers have their 2 fists that they can use. Guess what? MMA, I got my fist, my elbows, my feet, my knees, my legs. I got everything I can throw at you.
Okay, listen, let's take the knees.
Shoulder. Connor knocks people out with the shoulder. Like, you can do everything.
I thought you were going to say like a driver or a boxer only uses one hand or whatever and doesn't use the other one.
That would have made more sense.
I thought that's what you were going to say. But you're talking about if the foot is there, why not make the most out of it?
Yes. If you can become more efficient and a safer driver, you should use it.
Is it from driving with your cleats on to practice?
Oh.
That was always kind of difficult too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, especially if you've got a chance for 2 ice rinks that you're on there. Because it does get slick, with the cleats on or whatever. So now he's got to worry about the left cleat and is his ankle taped properly? Is it the same? You know what I mean? You are absurd as a human. I've had to do it before. Because of surgery or whatever, where you can't, lunk your dumb foot over to the brake, how you described it to me in a text, by the way. So I have done it. There's no way that is a better way to drive. There is just no
It is
way.
for me. It works for me. It's a much better way for myself. I'm not saying anything about anybody else, but for me, it works.
Well, you just said you wanted to influence in the next 3 to 6 months a lot more people.
If I can help the American public become safer and better drivers, then absolutely.
This guy working for Aflac?
Bro, what are you potentially? But Affleck would. Affleck would want more danger on the roads there.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you're doing this while you're driving? Hey,
Fred Flintstone.
Come on. And then you're going here. Then you're going here.
My legs don't have to move. I can keep both of them planted and just my heels on the ground.
Oh, you got big car. You're out there in one of them Shaq Buicks. One of those ones that got it. You got big. So you're just doing this right here the whole time.
You got it.
That's how you fly a plane, right?
That's foolish.
Yeah, it's for the rudder.
Yeah.
That's foolish.
I've flown a plane before. I'll tell you what. Nobody that has ever flown a plane, expert pilot, captains, they don't drive with 2 fucking feet.
Nope.
No way.
They're not fools.
That's unbelievable.
What do NASCAR drivers and IndyCar drivers do? They could do it. I'm sure they could get away with it.
They're things on the paddles now. Yeah, they're.
No. I'm saying in everyday life, like when they're just driving around.
Yeah, they drive 1 foot because they're professional drivers and they're good at driving. They're not amateurs.
Plus, they're going so fast, they need that left foot to be free in case they need to hit the e-brake. That's the most important thing here.
Yeah, we are forgetting about the e-brake, which most of the time it is hand, but the parking brake is
down
what you're
there
referring to. You're talking about the parking brake, which, by the way, that thing can turn.
Yeah, you need to keep that left foot free.
There is some glimmer from the chat saying faster reflex with 2 feet.
No, it's not, because you have 2 thoughts instead of 1, so I don't need to hear the dumbass fucking YouTube comment section.
It is all 1 thought. Why would it have to be 2 thoughts? Maybe in your brain, but it doesn't have to be 2 thoughts. We're in unison. We're so efficient driving already. It's just all just a flow. You're in the flow state.
Yeah, but you have to
movement.
You're like a circle. Okay, no edges.
I'm sure Gary Vee could explain it better than me.
I would assume there's some metaphor he would make it make sense for all of us that drive very differently. But there's 2 thoughts at least. Which brake? I got to brake and then left foot. For us, it's just brake.
Yeah.
It's a boom.
No,
same foot.
For you, it's brake, lift this stupid right foot up, and put it on the brake.
You slide it, dude.
Yeah,
what do you mean lift it up?
What do you got? You have little rocks down there?
If you're sliding it, just your angle of your foot cocked like that, you don't have enough pressure if you really need to brake hard.
It's like a pivot. All you got to do is just move it over.
Rear-ending people.
This is embarrassing. But let's move along, shall we? I mean, this is a 13-minute conversation. You're exposing yourself.
Yeah, I didn't start it. I didn't want it to become a thing, but you made it something.
No,
you did. You knew it was going to be a thing as soon as you said it. Yeah. You knew it was going to be a thing.
How would I ever know what's going to be a thing with you? Hit your brain. Like you could never predict what's going to be.
Hey, that Adidas jacket you wore with the Velcro, I'm still looking for right now, AJ Hawk. AJ, let's talk about some things that are happening in the world. Have you seen the graphic we have made for the Gase effect yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, I should have sent it to you because it is alarming. Whenever this was created by Dirty Gertie, please put this up. The Gase effect is a real thing. Obviously, his time at Miami Dolphins on the left, not great. His time on the Jets on the right there. What the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets have done post-Adam Gase in the immediate firing of Gase, which is the first thing. Dolphins and Jets both fired Gase. Then what? They both hired defensive coaches that are beloved by players. Okay, so they got B-Flow and they got Bob Saleh. Then you go trade quarterback, 4 draft capital, trade safety for a first, trade safety for a first, draft quarterback with top 5 pick, draft quarterback with top 5, have double ones, double twos next year. Tannehill goes on to have a resurgence. What will happen with Darnold? It feels like there is a blueprint on what to do whenever you get rid of Adam Gase. The Miami Dolphins said it. The New York Jets have followed it the exact same way. What will their success be like? We shall see. But the Gase effect feels like a real one, AJ Hawk.
Do you think Adam Gase is happy with this graphic?
No. I mean, I would assume not, man. But
he has the crazy eyes right now.
I wonder how the Jets fans feel about it too, because they had to live this whole thing. The fact that he got that job. Now, I have since learned that the sheriff, Peyton, was the reason why. I guess he called and gave in a good word. Allegedly, listen, I get attacked on Twitter. It's like, your guy. Hey, your guy.
Whoa.
Is the reason why this happened. But the fact that he got another, bite at the apple there.
Hey, hold on. Are you saying Peyton is the reason Peyton called to get him the Jets job after he was fired from Miami?
Allegedly, that is the story. And I did not know that. I did not read that anywhere. I felt like I probably would have seen that. But Jets fans found that out somehow, and they will tell you very loudly that that was the case. And I will say this. Peyton and he probably had a lot of success because he was probably pretty cool with Peyton, if I had to guess. If Peyton managed your quarterback, you're going to try to be cool with him as much as possible. Peyton's obviously calling that offense, running those meetings, running those practices. Peyton was head coach, GM, everything. John Elway handed him the keys. I mean, that's just, you hear anybody that's ever played. Now, I don't know if anybody in Denver came out and said, like, yeah, that's exactly how it was. But anybody that's ever played, it's like, yeah, if Peyton wants to do something, we're doing it. That's just how the thing goes. With Gase, I assume Peyton had a good relationship with him. They had success, obviously. He broke some records, won a Super Bowl together. So I would assume we shouldn't just blame Peyton. But, man, the Jets should have seen what happened down there in Miami. And then now, will he get another chance after this thing? He seems like he is not cut out to be a head coach. Maybe a quarterback coach, maybe offensive coordinator. But it feels like the whole managing a business day-to-day, a team, is just not his thing, it feels like.
Yeah, I've talked to players that have played for him, and they actually, like, a lot of guys like him. Like, yeah, man, I like him. I think he's kind of misunderstood through the media just because he hates all of the stuff around football. Like, he enjoys, yeah, there you go, with the eyes. He enjoys grinding in football and film and drinking 700 cups of coffee a day. Like, that's what he lives for. But
that's
when you become think about it, though, you become a head coach, it's all the garbage you have to deal with. You've talked about Chuck Pagano mentioning that. Like, they just want to coach. And Gase is one of those guys that seems like he just wants to be in the film room on the field drawing stuff up. And everything else, like, he's not going to fake like he's enjoying it or he's having a good time.
And I know that there is obviously a lot more money in being a head coach. But I would assume when Gase gets back, and I don't know what he's doing. Was he hired somewhere? I have no idea. He was allegedly potentially going to go to Alabama or something. But whatever he ends up, I assume he'll get another job where he'll potentially fall back in love with coaching. I'd assume that there is some, not as much love with being a head coach in the NFL or coaching football at all from Adam Gase after all that failure too. And the Tannehill thing is directly they're saying other organizations and teams are thinking about what happened with Tannehill. He's directly tied to that. It's like, now remember what happened with we can't give up on a quarterback because we got to remember, maybe it's just the coaches. Remember what Gase did to fucking Tannehill? Yeah. When Tannehill got out from underneath Gase, he was like, that's a real thing in football conversations now. I assume he doesn't love that. Getting back to coaching, whether it's a position group or the offense, is probably going to be something that he needs in his life at this point.
Don't you think the Carolina Panthers are thinking that right now? Like, hey, look what happened to Tannehill once he got away. Maybe Sam Darnold, he's so young, he's 23. We're just scratching the surface of what this guy is going to be.
Well, that's right down there at the bottom of that graphic that we just had up. Darnold, ... TBD.
So do you think Darnold was so excited, like when he was celebrating when he was traded to, because Gase was already gone, so like he was just over New York as well as the city?
I would assume a fresh start.
Yeah.
That's what we thought. If they're going to draft a quarterback, we said it on this show, Quarterback Guru said it as well, and we just talked about the human aspect of this whole thing. If they're drafting a quarterback at 2, which they are, right? They're drafting a quarterback, and you're going to make Sam Darnold be there, and what are you going to have him do? Be a mentor for a number 2 overall pick that you drafted, that not a previous regime drafted? How's that? That's just there was no way it was going to work. He knew that. The Jets knew that, thankfully, because the Jets could just been blind to that and be like, no, he's a quarterback. This is what he does. It'll just be that whole thing. They took into account the human aspect, which I think is a good thing, and I believe both sides were happy to be there. Yeah, Jordan Palmer had him on his IG story, dancing into a gathering, putting a hat on. He's excited down there.
He should be excited. I mean, there's no way, I think, for Sam Darnold to have stayed there on the roster when they go out there and probably draft Zach Wilson number 2 overall. Like, you're not going to be a placeholder. I think they're going to plug Zach in right away. If you're Bob Salah, you don't have a ton of time. Like, we want to make sure this guy is who we think he is.
Are you 100% sold that it's Zach Wilson at 2? Yeah.
No, I'm not 100% on anything right now.
Me neither. I came to and it might have been the particular CBD strand that was potentially hitting me. It all kind of just crashed in my brain last hour where it was like everything could be just good. Now, Trevor Lawrence to Jacksonville, I think we can go ahead and lock that one.
Check it off.
Okay, congratulations to both of them. He's watching the draft or whatever at Clemson, and he'll fly down to Duval, do his thing. Congrats. But at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the top 8. I don't think any of us have a clue. There's reports coming out that the Jets have not been offered that much, or not that many people have seemed interested for the number 2 overall pick. That comes after, obviously, a king's ransom was given up for the number 3 pick. It's like, are the Jets 100% sold on Zach Wilson, or is this all bullshit potentially?
Does that worry them that they haven't had so many teams calling trying to get that number 2 pick to take Zach Wilson? Now are they starting to rethink their strategy? Like, hey, are we not seeing something that the rest of these guys are seeing?
Yeah, the paralysis by analysis has to happen as well, where you start over-analyzing everything, especially when you're talking about the future of not only your lives, your jobs, your family's jobs, but also a multi-billion-dollar organization you've been tasked with guiding for a bit or whatever. I mean, these are big decisions that have to be made. And who's leaking the information that not a lot of interest has gone to the Jets for that trade? You would have to assume that would be somebody from the Jets. Why are the Jets releasing that? Well, are the Jets trying to drum up interest for the number 2 overall pick because they're not sold, or are they not necessarily all in on who they're picking? Who knows? This could all be complete bullshit. And then the Justin Fields saga, you throw that into there, it's like, who knows what's the draft night, which we're going to have a draft spectacular, by the way. LoveScoop.com/the Pat McAfee Show. AJ will be with us. We are trying to get special guests. No special guests locked in yet, but surprise special guests will be coming. I think the draft could get pretty electrifying this year. What do you got, Connor?
Like when a team trades up to the pick right behind you, too, like the Niners at 3 with the Jets at 2, you got to think that the Jets are thinking, okay, if they're trading up for somebody, who the hell is it if it's not, one of the guys that we're looking at?
Yeah, it's...
Because if they trade up for Fields and all of a sudden the Jets are thinking, oh, shit, well, is Fields the real number 2 and we're just missing something here because we're so infatuated with Wilson?
Yeah, and also, did they potentially not do much research on anybody else? Because that's all could happen.
Yeah.
Hey, also, though, Bob Salah and Shanahan, he just left his staff. Like, they're close friends, I would imagine. They're used to talking all the time. I don't know how much they speak now, but can they even have a normal conversation right now when it would be really weird, I think, for them to even talk.
We are clearly playing poker right now with each other.
Yeah.
Okay, Justin Fields has another pro day. The Niners are in attendance. Guess who's probably going to be in attendance as well? The New York Jets.
Mm-hmm. So are the Patriots.
Let's assume the New York Jets are going to be there as well. And as soon as that happens, the conversation is going to be like, is it Zach Wilson?
Oh, why are they there? Are the Jags there?
Zach Wilson.
Oh.
Hey, if you guys aren't buying Zach Wilson at 2, so he's minus 3,000 on FanDuel to go number 2. Justin Fields is plus 1,200. You could get Mac Jones at plus 5,000 if you think maybe he's up.
Hey, by the way, there's Hammered Dahn. The gambling mind went right for Diggs. He's like, oh, if you're thinking we can profit off of this, we can profit off of this if we want to, because I think that's a legit thing that could happen on draft night. I'm not sure anybody. The Goldman standard quote from Sanchez is going right now.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's going right now. I enjoyed that conversation with that man yesterday, by the way.
I absolutely did too. I feel like if he's acting, and he's an amazing actor, but he seems like he has like the right intentions behind everything he's doing.
Dude, I thought early, I thought, this guy fucking stinks.
2 PhDs.
With what he's saying. Well, early he was like, I don't like to be in front of the camera. And it's not about me. It's about the test and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this guy. Like, this stinks. All right, this guy. I laughed in his face. If he was to watch the video back, there's actually moments where he starts talking where while we're in a 3-shot, I start chuckling and I have to cover it up. And it's an obvious laugh in his face. But then now I feel terrible for those because I think he's genuinely like that. Like, I think he does not normally do interviews. I think he was thankful for the interview afterwards, but I think he was, I think he's genuinely that guy. And that's good news for us because I think we got a guy in the world that could potentially start predicting some things when other people can't figure it out, and the brain is a big mystery.
Well, didn't he say, has he been working on that test for 15 years before he put it out?
Yeah, before it went to market, 15 years. Yeah, 15 years before it went to market.
What kind of return can he get on it? Like, he's not pushing it. He's not marketing it like he should if he really wants to get a return on it.
I think for him, it's not about the marketing. It's not about the thing. It's about being a tool that people can use.
Yeah, AJ, did you listen to him
known
at
within
all?
the leagues, AJ.
You got to assume it works, too, if it is still something that's being used.
Super Bowl commercials?
Yeah. Well, just Patrick Mahomes. Okay, so now I can say something. Patrick Mahomes scored a 108, allegedly. This is what Mark Sanchez said. So I'd assume Patrick Mahomes potentially told Mark Sanchez he scored this, or somehow somebody found out, because Dr. Scott Goldman was not going to give us any of those test scores. Nope. But Patrick Mahomes has been pretty good. I want every quarterback I draft to have a 108. Yeah. That's what some people could think. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so if they score a 108, or this is what I want. It's like, who knows how all those numbers are. And I'm not saying that's how I viewed, but I'm saying there are people that would view those numbers that way. So I would assume there's potential, gray area in how all of this shit is looked at.
Josh Allen, too. He scored a 108, and you assume if people knew that, he might have gone.
Allegedly scored a 108.
Allegedly, he would have gone, one instead of Baker, if that was previous knowledge.
Yeah, who all knew that he scored that?
Same as Mahomes.
If Justin Fields gets drafted to draft night and they go, this guy scored a 138 on the Goldman.
Yeah, he was on Goldman.
AIQ.
We weren't able to get his Wonderlic score, but we did learn that his Goldman score. I like that Goldman guy though. I didn't think he was a douche. Early I thought he was going to be, but I thought he was genuine there by the end of it.
If he is not genuine, he has me fooled, and I feel like I can sniff out douches pretty quick.
Really, you got a good douche sniff?
I feel. I feel like you have a similar thing. Like you can figure out pretty early on if someone's legit.
You're right. It's a good little radar to have, by the way. You know what I mean?
Very, very important radar.
It does come very quickly too, doesn't it? I mean, you learn very quickly. It's hard to get off of that initial radar too. I assume for you as well.
Yes, very, very much so. My wife is even good at. She knows going into a new situation. Oh, you're gonna hate this dude. Like that's, or you're gonna love him. Or she'll say like, hey, no, you're gonna love this person.
The amount of times I am told that in my life, the amount of times. Foxy's probably heard it at least 50 times from people that do not, you are going to hate this dude, but he's potentially, could be a good partner or whatever. I'm like, why is everybody think I'm going to hate him? You're going to hate him. You're going to hate him. Okay. And then I meet whoever it is or whatever. And how you doing, man? And immediately upon like, hey, whatever. It's like, okay. Yeah.
I do hate this dude.
That's my favorite moments.
It's hot. Okay. Here we go. This is everybody was right. Everybody was right. I enjoy those moments though. I enjoy learning because they're all characters in a movie. Everybody's a character in a movie. I know it's not how everybody should view their lives because a lot of people have to do real things in this world. But for me, it's just like The Masters is an episode of the movie we're all living in right now here. I can't wait to see how fucking Bubba Watson's doing in those Jordan 4s, dude. AJ, did you see that? Bubba Watson with his fresh new cleats, dude?
Yeah, I saw him post that online, and then I have it on right now too, man.
How incredibly uncomfortable are those shoes, you think?
Bro, I can't imagine. Like at the turn, I would have changed shoes at the turn most likely.
They had to have done something to make them comfortable because those are brand new. I remember I got a pair of brand new cleats like a day before the game, and I had no other cleats to wear. And I was so like, I'm not wearing these tomorrow. They're going to give me blisters. My feet they're going to be too uncomfortable. Those look like fresh out of the box. Yeah. He's about to go walk 18 at least in these things. If they're anything like the actual version of the 4s, it's like, we need to fade, I think. We need to fade Bubba Watson. The feet are going to be in pain. They had to have done something.
Yeah, they must have customized insoles.
Dr. Scholl.
What if he slept in them?
Smart.
Put them on.
Actually, what you do is you get into a hot tub with them.
Oh, really?
They mold.
You put shoes on. Yeah. If they're leather, if they have a leather base.
Like a mouth guard.
You put exactly. Yeah. And you go into a hot tub, wear them, and then you obviously come out, you tie them, you put a thing in there.
It's like a baseball mitt, too.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Shaving cream.
If you have Ultra Boost insoles, take them out, put them in your J's. That's what I do.
Really?
Yeah.
You got tiny feet, though.
Yeah, I know, but it makes them way more comfortable.
Yeah, but the thing about the J's is my pinky toe.
Yeah.
It's always my pinky toe just gets, because I have fat feet, so it's always the outside kind of gets. Let's assume we learned about Bubba. Bubba's got a little thinner foot.
A little tiny one.
Thinner foot with these things. That's why he's able to get out there.
A little angled, maybe.
I wish. Go ahead.
You haven't worked out any deal with Hoka to make you a nice golf shoe that you could, trot around the course in?
As we were all talking there, I thought somebody was going to say it. I think Bubba reached out to Hoka and said, "Hey, need these 4s to be comfortable for the course."
You have to get your clubs extended, though.
Yeah, hey, listen, you're going to grow. You're going to grow.
Be careful on the tee box.
You're going to have to bend a little bit. You're going to go down a little bit more. But you're going to be look. He's starting to walk with a little bit of a limp, isn't he?
Uh-oh. That's why he's not going to piggyback from his caddy.
Hey, how awesome would it be if you saw him sitting down at a tee box 3 holes from now?
Bunch of fucking Band-Aids out.
His caddy's got little blister things for him.
I'm going to let him know they look incredibly clean, okay?
Yeah, they are gorgeous.
They are wildly dope pair of golf cleats. He also has CBDMD on his hat, so we are on his visor, so we are.
Oh, that's how he's coping with the pain.
We love everything he's got. Oh, yeah, he's got some of his gummies going in there. But man, there's no way those brand new pair of cleats are comfortable.
They just need to get a shot of him leaning up against a tree. Oh man, my feet.
He did walk off camera there.
Yeah, and he immediately collapsed. Oh my God!
Somebody carry me.
Somebody give me a cigarette.
Let's get to a phone call, shall we? Shaq Griffin was supposed to join us 5 minutes ago. He has not joined the Zoom call. Hope everything's okay with him. Let's get to Bobby Johnny down there in West Virginia. What's going on, Bobby Johnny?
Hi, Bob.
Living on the edge down there all of a sudden.
Hey, Bob, what's going on down there?
Oh, hanging out. First time I called into the show. Chase was with you guys. Rest in peace, Chase. Really enjoyed hearing his stories.
Hey, rest in peace, Chase Smith, by the way. Shout out you, Bobby, for remembering that. What do you want to talk about, man?
Man, I love West Virginia. I can get out here and do stuff all the time. What's your favorite story from West Virginia that's not football related?
Oh, I appreciate that, Bobby Johnny. Sounds like you are right outside of whatever was buzzing there. Maybe like one of those bug killer things. Whenever the bug flies, it felt like that was. I feel like there was maybe 1,000 bugs getting slaughtered behind the call there, Bobby Johnny. Hope everybody's okay over there. West Virginia, Morgantown, West Virginia is just a really good time. I mean, I've been to Moorefield, West Virginia, which is basically a town in the middle of the mountains of West Virginia, is where my roommate lived. I had a blast in college. West Virginia was a very good time. I assume the same with Columbus, though. Very different styles, though, Columbus and Morgantown. Have you ever been to Columbus or Morgantown?
I actually have not been anywhere really. No, I haven't been on campus in Morgantown. No, Ohio State, I mean, it's all, people would tell me, 50,000 undergrad. Like, how do you, it's so big, it's crazy. But I mean, it's my only college experience, so I don't know what it's like being at a place that has 4,000 undergrad.
Yeah, like Gonzaga, by the way. Gonzaga has, 4,700 or 5,700 undergrad or whatever. Yeah. Everybody knows everybody there. That's a high school. That's an actual high school there. Morgantown, you saw the same people, in the same places. I think 28,000? 30, maybe big. 15? That's a number that I was told one time.
What did it feel like? How many people did it feel like?
28,000.
28,000. My first.
Okay.
Wow. Good pull.
Still got it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the Goldman, bro.
I mean, the walking on broken glass, that's one of one, I feel
that's
like.
that's a great night. Just it looked like Baghdad out there. I mean, I think that's something. But Columbus, I was over there for the Barstool tailgate show. It felt very similar to how Morgantown felt. You know what I mean? It felt like, okay, these kids are doing the same types of things. Not to the level, I don't think, because I think your academia is a little bit higher. But now after watching that admission scandal, maybe everything's bullshit. But the Morgantown, West Virginia academia level, a lot lower, a lot higher dropouts, I'd assume, that go to West Virginia. So just kind of ratchet it up a little bit, both in the volume and the ratchetness. And I think that's a little bit difference between Morgantown and Ohio State, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's very difficult to get into Ohio State, especially now. I mean, it was tough enough back when I was going there. Ohio State's just
spread out. You talking about the front door?
Okay. What?
You talking about the front door of Ohio State?
Yeah, I had to go in the front door, yeah.
No, you came in the side door, actually. You came in the side door, actually.
No, it's
side door, AJ.
A football scholarship, the side door?
Oh, so you think football is above water polo?
Wow. No,
you think it's above crew?
Wow.
Because all those people are getting in via scholarships for those sports, and all of a sudden
they drive 1 foot.
What's that?
The athletes go in the back door.
No, the back door is the donation.
Correct.
Yeah.
The back door is the donation, where it's like a $10 million donation. You build a library, you build a hall. The side door is the scholarships, where you're probably not going to be able to donate, and you're definitely not going to do there. So athletic scholarships, the end. Old buddy, what was his name?
Singer?
Mark?
Ringer?
Rick
Singer.
Rick Singer.
No. Rick Singer, I think, is that other guy.
Steven Singer.
Steven Singer.
Okay.
It is Rick. We hated that guy.
Oh, Jesus.
No, that was the thing.
That was the thing. I hate Steven Singer. That was his thing. It wasn't us.
No.
That's like his marketing thing. Jesus, what a run.
It's his website. That's his website.
Yeah, there you go.
I hate Steven Singer. Yeah. We did hate him.
Rick Singer from Sacramento.
Rick Singer, yeah. The side door is the scholarships, though. That's what they were doing. And the posing of photos, whether it was on a row machine in the house or in the back pool playing a little polo, that's how they did
You
it.
think it's how the Winklevi got in, or they were on scholarships?
I think the Winklevi earned it front door.
Yeah, they were crew. They were crew superstars.
Yeah, they actually did row.
Yeah.
They had Bitcoin back then.
They knew it was coming.
They knew it.
They did.
If you created Facebook, you would have created Facebook. What a line. Let's go to Edwin in San Jose. What's going on, Edwin? It's a good line.
Yo, what up?
And true.
Doing?
Hey, everything's great, Edwin. I hold on real quick, though, Edwin. I want to let you know from that movie, Portnoy and Smitty, when you get in those depositions, it's showtime.
Yeah.
Okay?
Don't forget.
It is showtime. And you can crush it in there.
Yep.
Absolutely fucking crush it in there.
It will be on record.
You are going to see it, and it is hysterical things to remember. Anyway, sorry about that, Edwin. What do you want to talk about?
I'm just here at work, and if the 49ers do take Mac Jones over Justin Fields, I might throw myself head first into the wood chipper. But
Good Lord.
That is a brutal.
Yeah, that's the NFL. That's how much it matters.
That's what fanhood is all about.
Yes.
All right, Edwin. I mean, I don't know what's worse.
You should go in feet first.
All right. Okay.
Hey, Jay.
If you're driving on 2 feet, think about it.
If you want to make it worse for yourself, if you're that upset.
Let's get to a break. Shaq Griffin has joined us, but we have to get to a break because we didn't get to a break. So now we're kind of in a situation where we have to get to a break. We apologize. He cannot wait to chat with him. This is going to be a great conversation on the other side. Just signed a 3-year, $44 million deal with the Jags. Going back to Florida.
Hell yeah.
What are the Jaguars building? Can't wait to ask him. Can't wait to chat with him. That'll be on the other side of this 4-minute break. This is Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, April 8th. Dustin Johnson is in the crowd.
Oh, no.
They want to play for the Yankees one day. The people I'm playing against. They want to play for the fucking Yankees.
Check out, in there, we put a little surprise in there for you.
About to get iced, it feels like. I mean, let's start the day. It's great to be a member of the Washington Wild Things baseball team. We're number 1 in the league, right?
Yeah, let's
fuck everybody. Fuck everybody else. When I take BP, will there be anybody telling me how to fucking hit? No. Feels like the wind's blowing this way. Might have to attack that fence tonight, huh? Hey, you got it! Does the DJ play heaters like this all night? I started hitting 2 days ago. Oh, you'll be fine. I think I figured it out.
You'll probably only face 90 miles an hour, man.
Is that me in the game then? This is a good at-bat. This is a good at-bat. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Give me it!
1-1 pitch.
Let's go!
Line drive right
son of a
at
bitch! That came down a lot faster than I thought, though. Let's be honest.
It's deep, and it is off the wall. Field it up.
Excuse me! If you could all get off of my dick, we would be better off. Tell you what, would have been nice to take a nap earlier.
Another throw
Get back!
first.
You have to tell me when that's happening. You're making me look bad. Hey, Steven, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, Steven. Hey, nice pitch. 149. Does that feel good, Steven? Oh, wow. Wow.
He tosses him the ball.
Wow. Back to being a player now. Making plays. Touchdown. What inning is it?
Top of the second.
Jesus. But it was finally my time to get in that box.
Number 1, the right fielder, the former punter from West Virginia, a former Indianapolis Colt, and a current Barstool Sports personality, Pat McAfee.
The anticipation is real.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, right at Pat. Hit out.
I'm in the hole? Son of a bitch. This is about to happen.
And that will bring up Pat McAfee once again.
First pitch from Reynaldo Lopez, swing and a miss by McAfee.
Hey. What was that? And the catcher goes, I had to give you one.
Looked off speed.
What was that? Then I look at the pitcher, and he's smiling. He's like laughing, like he's toying with me like I'm a child. It all comes down to this. My last at-bat. Hey, I'm gonna get on. You bring me home.
This is your life on the line, fucker.
Let me tell you something. You're going to take an L, okay? You're going to take one. So I think that the close your eyes and swing method is perfect for you. Oh, this is hardball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Jesus. You have no prayer.
Now batting, number 1, right fielder, McAfee.
Oh, boy. Oh, this is the duck and duck thing. Let's go!
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Let's get right to it. AJ Hawk is here. All the boys are here. And joining us, a new member of the Jacksonville Jaguars down there in Duval. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaq Griffin.
Feels good.
Hey, how are you, man? Thank you for joining us. I heard there was a little bit of a miscommunication on when you were joining us, when you weren't. I apologize for that. I can't be thankful enough for you stopping by today.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you guys having me, man. No problem. No problem.
Hey, 3-year, $44 million deal. Let's go. Okay. You leave Seattle. You go back to Florida. You're Jacksonville now. What was the conversation like with Urban? Because it feels like with him talking about rebuilding that organization, that franchise, every time I've heard him speak, it seems like he's really going right now. What was that conversation like? What's the vision, and why are you excited to be down there?
Oh, man. Actually, the first conversation was great. You know, I feel like the main thing that he has is he believes in something special. You know, he believed that something great can happen in Jacksonville. And, that was the first thing he said when I first walked in the office. And then, you go from that to, let's go besides ball. You know, he was busy worried about, my family, how they're doing, and that means, I feel like the most to me. You talk about bringing guys in, changing the culture around, and you talking about a coach who actually cares about the players, cares about their well-being, who cares about the family. Because, these are the guys that you're going to battle with. So, these type of guys you want to know, in and out. So, that was different for me, to get a chance to hear that and see that from him. So, he believes in something special, and it's easy, for me to believe in it well. So it's cool.
That's awesome.
In your short time getting to be around Urban Meyer, have you found any similarities between he and Pete Carroll? Because on the outside, it looks like two guys that coach in a very different manner.
Different manner, but I feel like the main thing is you got two coaches who know how to win. I'm going from an organization where Pete Carroll did some amazing things, and still to this day he's doing something amazing. But the main thing is Pete Carroll know how to win. And I'm going to another area where I'm with a coach who also know how to do the same thing. So that's the main thing. I'm going to an organization, that's planning on winning more games. Going to the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl, and Urban Meyer believes in that. And like I said, the same background between him and Pete Carroll is they both know how to win games. So. And that's the part that I believe in.
What was your relationship like with Pete? It sounds like it was a good relationship because it's obviously with the media and being the NFL and, things are going to get talked about, probably taken out of context, whatever the case. I always thought he was like a super players coach, always. And then this Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll public beef that is allegedly happening that is now Brandon Marshall's reporting is over. What was Pete Carroll like, and what was your relationship with him like?
No, we had a great relationship. Me and Pete had a great relationship, and I feel like people forget that this still is business, and it's not no hard feelings, and some things do get taken out of context, and I feel like people forget about that. and understand, you have disagreement with your family, your brothers, your sisters. As some people see things a little different. Pete Carroll may see something different than Russell Wilson, but the main thing is, they're trying to get on the same page, and that's family. What family doesn't have little disagreements or arguments? Well, they have to figure it out, and I feel like they have a family there, and that's the type of organization that Pete Carroll, likes to build, family oriented. You come over and just be yourself, truly exactly who you are. And Russell Wilson is an amazing guy. He want to reach to that next level, and he want Pete Carroll to see that same vision he sees, and as family, you can go through these little disagreements, little arguments, because you're going to find something better out of it. So, we had a great relationship, and it's going to happen.
Hey, it makes you stronger, I think. I really do believe it makes a relationship stronger because it it matures the relationship almost. Whenever you go through some shit, if you end up still together, it's like, okay, we've been through this. Let's go and do it. AJ, what do you got? I'm sorry, bub.
Hey, so I know you moved earlier after your rookie year, I believe. You moved from right to left corner. You took over for Richard Sherman. Not a lot of people can do that. I mean, that's some big shoes to fill, and you obviously had a great year. Like, how did you mentally make that jump, and was it that difficult?
The jump, the first year, I felt like I thought about it too much. It was so much of a talk of the Legion of Boom or, the Richard Shermans. And, I felt like the main thing is I felt like I was trying to imitate what they wanted in that organization, in that culture. And going to, you fast forward a year later, I felt like I put more of Shaquille in it, and I was ready to, take advantage of whatever side I'm on. It doesn't matter if they're moving around or not. I was going to make the best out of it. And once I figured out, just putting my own game into it and just being myself, and just playing my great ball that I usually do, I felt like that what kind of made the transition a lot easier, But that first year, I felt like I put too much pressure on myself, which it wasn't needed. Just doing exactly what I know how to do, was definitely good enough. So, now I just have to build off that.
I remember watching, a story about you, your brother, your family, and everything, and then you got a chance to play together. I mean, that had to be dream come true, I'd assume, for your entire life. Like, hey, we might be able to play together whenever we get to the NFL. That's fucking absurd.
No doubt about it. I feel like this story, you can continue to say it, but it doesn't matter when you say it or how you say it. It's still amazing to see, and it still gives me goosebumps to talk about it because, that usually does not happen. You talking about being that 1% chance of a guy like my brother getting drafted, and a 1% chance of us playing together at the highest level. Things like that doesn't happen, and it is a Cinderella story, so it's cool. But, this is just half of it. It's still a story being written. Right now my brother have, different teams that he can go to right now. Not sure if he'll go to Jacksonville with me or have options. There's so many different things that this story has to offer, and it's, like I said, it's just the beginning. I feel like we're just getting started with it. So I can't wait to see what's next.
Especially you go back to Florida, turn the franchise around. I mean, there he is. There is so much that can happen on that thing. Connor, what do you have?
Yeah, Shaq, they talked about the Jaguars kind of turning into a whole different organization. Have you been able to go to the facility and kind of see what they've been working on, or are you still at home doing training on your own?
Yeah, I've been there after I first got a chance to, when I first signed, got a chance to see everything. But it's so much more to it. I feel like what they were showing me, they'll show me one thing to be like, yeah, we're going to do this to it. We're going to change this up. I'm like, whoa. So, we come in, he changed the program around. He changing everything, You want everything from scratch, brand new. And like I said, man, he has a vision, and it's cool that he had a vision. He's sharing it with us so we can start to believe in it now before we even get started, And I feel like this is awesome. So, we'll have calls and talks. He'll be asking, all right, when you coming down here? You come down here and you can train, you get yourself together, get your place together. Just go ahead and get more equipped to Florida, come back, and hearing that, knowing the coach wants you there so bad, and ready to get to it, it really shows his passion, his pride for this game, and that's the type of guy I want to play for.
Hey, does it feel like college? Like it sounds like wanting to get to know you and your family. It's like, and then, hey, you coming down here to work out, and it's almost, I think people might take this as me talking shit, but does it feel like more like a college coach? Because it sounds like I want to meet the players we're going to sign. I want to talk to them. I like to get to know them. That doesn't happen anymore in the business world. In the business world that is the NFL, it's like, hey, good, let's figure it out. Let's do that. And Urban's like, I don't really like how some of these things are being run around here. And do you think it is sustainable? Do you think what he's doing with calling you and asking you, like, hey, you coming down here to work out, that's like your college coach type thing. That's like your college position group or your strength coach does that type of thing. Do you think it's sustainable, you think, with what Urban's doing? And how do you think it's going to work over time in the NFL?
Well, my college experience was a little different, so mine wasn't like that. But
hey, me neither, brother.
Urban Meyers, I'm just saying the guy who's truly, want to get an understanding of who I am and where I come from, so you have a better respect of the guy who you're working with, the guy, who's coaching me, or vice versa of me understanding the guy who I'm playing for. You have a sense of respect. You talking about going to battle with these guys, and you build this certain relationship. You're willing to do whatever it takes, and ready to run through a wall through a guy that you truly love and truly respect. And I feel like that's the culture he's trying to build. He want to build it off love and respect, that's knowing awesome. That I'll do anything for a guy, knowing that he has my back no matter what, because he know who I am. He knows the reason why I'm playing this game. He know what I'm fighting for, and he want to help me accomplish that.
Man,
that's different.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds. You would hope, by the way, that every coach would have that mindset. But when business gets involved and scheduling conflicts happen, it's not easy. It's nice to hear that it seems like. Have you asked? Don't. Never mind. There was a boat trip he took this past. Listen, we don't need to ask any questions. You don't need to ask, but what do you have?
Yeah, Shaq, there was also a report going into the hiring of Urban Meyer that he does not like the word elite. Do you free agents have like a group text like, hey, when you're around Urban, say you're living on the edge, you're not trying to be elite, or is that just kind of no knowledge?
And what does living on the edge mean to you?
Yeah.
I think that would be a doing for me. I'm really just getting to the group chat, so I haven't got to that part of it. But living on the edge for me, I don't know, man. It sounds pretty dangerous.
Hey, that's the team motto down there. I'm excited.
It sounds dangerous, but sometimes you got to be dangerous to play this game. I was always told, any person who play this game and you run into people for a living, you already got some loose screws up in the head, because it's what you do. You think about it. I tell people when they ask me what you do for a living, I just headbutt people. It sounds crazy. I have to be honest. But literally, we headbutt people for a living. So yeah, you gotta have some loose screws. So you gotta be a little dangerous. You gotta live a little life on the edge. Everybody will say you gotta stay dangerous. So I believe in it.
Diggs, what do you got?
Speaking of that, you're going into division now where you got to go up against Derrick Henry twice a year. What are your thoughts on coming off the edge when he's got a toss coming your way?
Hey man, I was always taught you gotta do what you gotta do. No matter who's in front of you, no matter who. You got to be a grown man by grown man business. So I ain't really too worried about that. I just got to get my job done.
Hey, listen, you got Carson Wentz in this goddamn division too. Okay, you need to, that's okay. Let's not just focus on any Derrick Henry run. Okay? All right. Hey, we appreciate you so much, man. Thanks for making this happen.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you guys again.
Hey, good luck down there in Jacksonville, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, that family story, I don't know if it was a mini doc or whatever they made, was awesome to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's so hard to make it to the NFL, and then your it is. Your brother makes it. It makes no sense.
And your brother has one hand, by the way, too.
Yeah, and the things that they did to set that up, the bench press, the whole thing, it was so cool. So cool to watch. What if he ends up down there in Jacksonville?
Be awesome.
What about Urban saying, hey, when are you getting down here to work out? It would be cool to kind of hang out.
I wonder if he's met with Schlegel yet.
Oh, we should have asked. We run out of time.
I don't think he has. I actually texted Schlegs. I don't think he's got the chance to meet with him.
Oh, did you say, hey, Schlegs, give me a little, what your
inside
thoughts on this?
Almost got benched.
Of course, Schlegs in full coach mode. Haven't got the chance. Can't wait, though. Tell him go Jags. Can't wait to see him.
Hey, Schlegs is awesome, huh?
He's the man.
Okay, one wrap up here of the poll for today, please. This one was inspired by AJ Hawk.
It's still 88-12. We know it's garbage.
Well, it's for the last 3 days, they have remained the exact same for 3 hours. Wow, numbers went up. The poll did not change. Zito, please, one last time.
Yep. Do you drive with both feet like AJ Hawk with over 87,000 votes? It's still stuck at 12%. Yup.
Okay, 87,000 votes. We had 17,000 more votes. No percentage change. Seems like it's potential for Daisy. It's a lot, man.
Hey, Z, can you put that picture up you sent me?
So basically, I did find out NASCAR drivers do use both feet.
IndyCar drivers, right?
Yeah,
IndyCar drivers. Go ahead and put that tweet up from Connor Daly. He's from Indiana. IndyCar driver, has a beautiful mullet right now. He says, don't worry, AJ, we do use both feet in IndyCar. Faster, more efficient, but when it comes to the road, I'm a right foot only guy. Hey, Connor, listen. Connor Daly, when he was this big, okay, like 4 or 5 years old, they put his ass in a fucking go-kart, okay? And in a go-kart, your legs are literally split. One side's the gas, one side's the brake. He was born and raised using his left foot as a braking system while racing. Connor, I respect and appreciate your input in this thing, but your life is nothing like ours.
Nope. Be slower to react.
That's not how it works.
You're wrong. He confirmed what I said. It's more efficient. He doesn't want to lose that millisecond from flopping his dumb foot over.
If you grow up every weekend strapping yourself as a child to a little rocket ship known as a go-kart or any of these other, I agree 100%. Use both feet. Do whatever you got. Hell, you know what? Use your knee if you want to. Connor could drive on the open road here in a minivan. If he wants to drive with his knee, go ahead and do it because they're insane. They're professional fucking drivers. I'm talking about CTE stooge in Ohio. Okay? You flop that dumb foot over and be a better driver for all of us. We'd appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, I'll think about it.
Like AJ thinks we're all the construction foremen from Happy Gilmore with our fucking feet, dude. It's not.
Well, then somebody said you never drove a forklift if you ain't never did that. They tweeted, it was like, I have actually.
Yeah,
We're not talking the same thing. We're not. This is not the same thing.
It's a car.
It's not a forklift, dude. It's a vehicle.
I drove a forklift for a year in high school at a job. So yeah.
Okay, me too, pal. And also, I mean, whatever you got to do. All right, if you want to make this
you could try it. I think you should give it a shot.
Got him working.
Oh yeah, that was for
Yeah. Side door.
Hey, work at this car dealership.
How many tattoos you get while working at forklift?
It was in high school. Not college.
Hey, Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Chris Russo is up next with Mad Dog Unleashed. What do you think he's going to talk about? Anything better than us, AJ?
Yeah, a lot of stuff better than us.
Mad Dog drives at 2 feet, probably.
So Mad Dog Unleashed on Drive. He's in New York. He has people that drive him. He's been around a long time. Trailblazer in the sports talk world. His show will be better than ours. We promise you that. Feel Good Fridays right around the corner. You got about 6 minutes until a better show. We'll see you manana. Cheers. Okay. Brooks Kepka was supposed to be out for 6 months. He's back 1 month afterwards, playing at the Masters.
Animal.
There's no way he finishes this weekend. Okay?
No.
If he does, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? That has to be so painful with a brand new knee out there.
And they just showed him walking like downhill. It really hurts bad when you have knee issues, but he has to do that little sidewinder thing when he's reading putts too. So who knows? If he wins it, man, he's going to go down. This is going to be like the Tiger win when he had the torn ACL.
Listen, there's no way Brooks is winning this after
no
one
way.
month.
It's too over, unfortunately.
There's no way. 1 month. You remember what those stages are like? Even if it is whatever type of knee surgery, those stages of coming, it's not only like, ow, that hurts because you're reactivating nerves that haven't been activated while you're bending in fashions that you haven't since the surgeon has potentially sliced them in half and tried to piece them back together. So there's going to be a remolding process for a lot of parts of your knee that are going to be very uncomfortable. That's why you got to rehab. That's why expectation is 6 months or whatever. But those stages, whenever you accidentally get it uncomfortable or whatever, it hurts so bad. I have no idea how he is golfing right now. And I've had three or four knee surgeries at this point. I don't know how he did it. AJ, you've had a lot. I don't know how he's doing this right now. Golf is a big torque thing too. He's gonna have to. I mean, that's gonna be very painful today.
And he just got engaged.
Mm-hmm. And he just got engaged down on one knee.
Yeah,
it was the opposite knee.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was the other knee though. Couldn't even get engaged on the right side.
Yeah, he didn't just get a cleanup. I mean, he repaired his patella. That's a big time surgery.
Yeah, I had a dislocated patella. That thing hurt like hell whenever when they bring it back. Everything is just. I don't know how he's doing it. And I'm watching him limp. It's like, I've done that limp before. That limp is, I've done too much. I was not supposed to do what I was supposed to do today. Okay, they told me not to do it. It hurts like hell. The fact he's golfing, insane. Bubba Watson in those shoes, also insane.
Yeah.
Those have to be mocked up a little bit to make them more comfortable. The Masters is off and running. There's an amateur that's on TV for some reason at +8.
Who's winning right now?
Mark Leishman is -4 through 8.
That was a guy Diggs did bet on.
Yep. Tony?
This amateur, Strafalski. He's eyeing it. Likes it. Action. Of course not. The greens are impossible today.
Terrible.
My only guess is I think they stick an amateur with the previous year's winner.
Yeah.
So if he's playing with DJ, that's why he's on TV.
That's what they do every year?
Yeah, I think so.
It's got to be one of those Masters traditions that they do.
Get him off.
I mean, he's going to make it one day. But today's not the day. Today's the fucking Super Bowl of golf.
Yeah.
Can we get Morikawa on this show? Why
Play
am I
the
watching?
hit.
He's playing well, too. He was 1 under last time I checked.
Morikawa?
Yeah.
We knew it with the irons. It's the irons today, AJ. Did you golf recently? Have you golfed recently?
I have not. I would like to. At some point I will. I don't have special clubs being made for me like you do.
Do you drive the golf cart with 2 feet?
You know what? Sometimes I think I'm a 1 foot golf cart driver because I hang my left out of the side.
Yeah, well, you're probably a much better driver on a golf course than you are on the road. Let's fucking change that around.
That's the truth.
No, that's not true.
Yeah,
I
it
wrecked
is.
one in the pond years ago, so no.
We also wrecked people into the pond,
Did
too.
you spin it? Is that what you did out?
Nah, nothing I could have
I don't
done.
know how to
I
stop
just
it.
parked too close to a green. And the e-brake, the emergency brake didn't go on. I thought it did. I popped out the thing.
Nothing you could do. Nothing you did wrong.
Sure?
Nothing you
Rode
did.
it
You
right
didn't
into
put
the
you didn't put the parking brake on the golf cart. That is.
Yeah, I thought I had it. It was malfunctioned at the time, so it started going down the hill. I jumped in and I rode that thing.
Was it top left corner? Was the parking brake, or was
Yeah.
it? You gotta. Everybody knows you gotta.
Lock it in.
You're being a drunk buffoon on the course.
Yeah, you were drugged up. You're on dope.
It was a mistake. Yeah, I lost my phone, wallet, everything was in there. See?
Nice.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry.
Clubs?
How'd the course feel
We got a
about
good
it?
picture. Chopper was in the group behind me. He jumped in, got a couple of my clubs off the bottom. Brady was in there. Yeah, we figured.
You're right in the drink.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I went and guess what I did too. They obviously had to pay for the cart. They wanted to keep it. They got something like some tractor, hauled it out of the pond later, and then they're like, "All right, well, you send us a check." I'm like, "Well, I'm coming to get it then. I don't care. I want it to work." So got my buddy's trailer, drove all the way out there, and picked that sucker up.
Does it work? Does it work?
No, I was hoping it would. I traded it in towards another one that does work.
Oh, okay. So you gave them a lemon or whatever. They didn't do the.
No, they knew. No, I said,
didn't
"Hey,
do
this.
the
I don't know what
Carfax?
you can scrap from this, but it was in the pond for 30 hours. Can you give me a little bit of money towards this new one?"
I have a golf cart. Can't get the batteries die so much.
No,
it is
charge
tough.
it. No, they don't. You can just charge it when you park it in the garage.
Oh, you have a couple more golf carts. So how many golf carts you got, pal?
I have one golf cart, and the battery will go for days. But you just charge it whenever you put it in your garage.
My batteries don't do that.
Okay. Or you just park it. Yep. All right, babe. Good to go. And you just walk in the garage and you never think about charging. Just like your motorcycle yesterday, you left out in the rain.
No, yeah, but I do plug in the motorcycle. You have to over the winter. You have to, or it's a whole
Golf
project.
cart. Electric vehicles tend to need charge too.
No, I understand you got to plug it in. Okay, I'm not a fucking stooge. I got a Tesla too, pal. I plug that thing in every goddamn night.
Golf carts.
But I plug that thing in. I think the batteries. I got two. I got this super golf cart and a Tesla, and I got an actual golf. But the batteries just the batteries I got. I think a couple different occasions.
Can you send it to me? Can I have it? I'm looking to upgrade.
I'll send you the batteries. Yeah, and it would not be an upgrade. I don't think ever what you got. If it's anything else like the rest of your house.
Why do you got to plug the bike in?
The bike, the battery,
The dirt bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dirt bike you're talking
Oh,
about.
the dirt bike. Okay.
No, I have not turned. I did not plug in the dirt bike. That was a fatal mistake. Got the dirt bike Christmas. It was dead. Never figured out how.
Good Christmas present though when you first opened it.
Yeah, but big pop, good pop.
Yeah.
And when I ride that thing eventually, by the way, I was thinking about charging that thing up the other day whenever they said DMX was in a vegetative. The only reason why I ever really wanted a dirt bike was so I could do wheelies down the street like I was in the Rough Riders Anthem music video.
Yeah. Coach Diggs used to take a car battery and then take the battery out of my Big Wheels Bigfoot and put the car battery in there so it would go faster.
That's good.
Caught on fire. It caught on fire.
Hey, Coach,
You should do that with the golf cart.
put
Car battery in
Put
it.
the Tesla battery in there.
So the thing about that, the Tesla is during the winter, while it was plugged in, it did have power. 4 families of mice have moved in.
Oh.
They lived within the seats.
Okay.
So they shit all over everything.
Yeah.
We've had that thing cleaned 7 times. You sit down, it just permeates through. Just shit. 5 months of shit.
Good God.
Yeah, so it's not worth a fuck either. It has power though. I plugged it in.
Here we go.
Maybe we get the Tesla battery.
Yes.
Put it in the golf cart.
There it is. That thing will be going 80 in 2 seconds.
80. That Tesla engine is.
Yeah, it's fast.
Different animal.
I don't understand what it is. I don't understand how they did it.
It's a spaceship.
Honestly, I don't understand how somebody made a car that was not powered by how cars have been powered forever and made it faster, quicker, more durable, and somehow still affordable. It was just...
It still looks cool, too.
Cool. It makes no sense at all what Elon Musk did with that thing.
I mean, it's an absolute spaceship, and you feel like you're on a roller coaster. If someone is hitting the gas and going, like, it just is so responsive. I get sick in that thing in the X, the SUV type one with the all glass like cockpit. That sun's just killing you, man. If you look down at your phone for half a second, if you're riding shotgun, good luck.
You can't, because it also has whenever you let off the gas, it recharges the battery as well. So there's a little bit of an automatic brake built in because they're using the power of something to slow down the engine. They're doing something in there. I couldn't drive it anymore. I got car sick every time I was in it. That's real.
Damn.
The wife drives it now. I can't drive it because it's hard not to. Whenever you can go, 0 to like 95 miles an hour within, couple seconds or whatever.
You don't hear a difference.
And you don't hear anything, and you get sucked into the seat. You get dragged. It feels like a golf cart, how the response on the pedal or whatever. It's hard not to just do that. It's like, okay, woo.
There's insane mode too, right?
Yeah.
It's like a sport mode, but it's insane.
Yeah, and you have to be
ludicrous mode, right?
You have to be in ludicrous mode. You have to. I don't know what you're doing if you're not. No. So.
I don't, man. Do you like to do you challenge people at a stoplight? You like to take them off the line?
No. I just talking about me in the road, open roads. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, the Bentley has like 700 horsepower at the tires now. If I really wanted to, at any red light, I could just sit and stare in this yacht of a vehicle that weighs 7,000. By the way, the battery is dead right now. that thing cannot be driven right now, and it needs to be registered for sure. I mean, and I heard they are towing cars now that aren't registered.
Whoa.
That's fucking insane. I did not know that. The Bentley should have been towed for 4 years now at this point.
Bill's car got towed and it was just hanging out front.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing.
Get him.
But yeah, I'm not a big race at the light guy.
Do we think there's a big magnet under your house that all the batteries just get drained from it?
No, I think it's just because I don't do anything with it. I think it's just because they park there. They're just parked.
Yeah.
They're just chilling.
Yeah.
Why don't you could hire somebody to start them up and drive those things 3 times a week.
Yeah, then I got to deal with that person.
I guess I'll volunteer myself,
Could you imagine Zito trying to drive that Shelby? That thing with the...
You thought the smell of the mouse poop.
Shut up.
So rude.
It's like Seinfeld.
So rude, dude. Today's sponsor is Public.com, an investing app where you can buy stocks, follow investors, and share ideas. That's the big one. Yep. The sharing of ideas, the following of others. Now, you listen to what I do and how I spend things, you would think maybe not follow that guy when it comes to investing. My Public app, at Pat McAfee is my username.
Yep.
Up.
The best.
That's all you need to know. If you want to follow along, I do not give investment advice, okay? That is not what this is. It is not investment advice.
No.
But if I get a sense that an alien's on Earth, and I assume he's going to probably succeed, because he created the vehicle that we literally were just speaking about there, and I got car sick from his creation of something that has been tested and tried to be perfected for so long, decades and decades, and he came in just, how you doing? I'm not even in the car business. I'm gonna fucking do this. It was just, I bet on that guy.
Yeah.
So I go Tesla. Here we go. Elon's gonna succeed.
You get to buy crazy stuff because your public account's doing so well.
Well, not at this point. So this is not investment advice, and they can't see exactly how I'm doing. So it is not necessarily at the point for us to lie about how successful I am in the stock market. And I would never do that because this is not investment advice.
No.
But there are people you can follow on there. You can see their portfolio, see what maybe their friends in high places are hearing about. Shaq.
Ooh.
Shaq, dude.
Come on.
Yeah, people.
O'Neal?
Griffin?
Shaquille O'Neal, yeah.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille Griffin probably, I would assume at some point, going to get in there and make some moves as well. Maybe he already is. But Shaquille O'Neal, the man who's the spokesperson for most of the publicly traded companies.
Yeah.
Okay, he is on public. Let's assume he knows potentially what's going to go and what's not going to go. He is everywhere. He was on the best printer company somehow. Long before anybody knew that there was printer companies, Shaq's on there. You want to follow Shaq. Tony Hawk, ever heard of him?
Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Thousands more. The app is free and you can start with as little as $1.
Okay.
You can buy slices, portions of stock versus full shares. And they don't, this is the big one, they don't sell your data or information to third parties or market makers like other investment apps have, those assholes.
Thank you, Public.
Right now, go to public.com/Pat McAfee to get a free stock slice.
Ooh, okay.
Go to go to public.com/Pat McAfee and you'll receive a free stock once you open an account. Valid for U.S. residents 18 plus, subject to account approval. See public.com/disclosures, not investment advice. Once again, this is valid for U.S. residents 18 plus, subject to account approval. See public.com/disclosure.
Nice. Let's go.
You get it.
Hell yeah.
AJ, you dabbling in her?
So I can go on and I can see which stocks you have bought?
Yeah, dude, follow at Pat McAfee, bro. Come on.
It's not advice, though.
It's not advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing here, huh? Give me one of you.
Ooh.
Give me half of you. Take three
So
of them.
what would be considered advice then?
If I was to say, follow me, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
Invest in this.
Grab a slice of this.
Yeah.
Why would I follow you unless I wanted to make money?
No, because you want to be along for the ride, obviously. And if you want to see what I'm potentially thinking long game is going to be worth it, if you want to see my closed Sicilian game operate, okay, maybe you get a chance to kind of glimpse what we're thinking, what Shaquille O'Neal is thinking, what Tony Hawk is thinking. This is not investment advice. We're just telling you, you can follow along if you want to be a part of the journey to the top, my friends. Allegedly, maybe. Not investment advice.
Hopefully.
Not investment advice.
Sounds good. Sounds like a nice company.
Public.com/Pat McAfee. All right. That's the show. Masters is on.
There is something going on in Cincinnati, too.
What happened?
I mean, there are a few, monkeys who are on the loose right now out there.
Oh, my God. Did you hear about this, AJ, in Ohio?
Yeah.
I saw this morning. So there is a privately owned monkey something, 3-4 monkeys, fully grown adult monkeys that were not wearing diapers, escaped from their residence this morning. They're on the loose. We have a video of a local Ohioan spotting with an actual spotlight these grown monkeys up in the trees in his neighborhood.
They're just sitting up there.
Just sitting up there.
They were swinging from the trees. Hey, there's one down below you.
It's right there. Look, you can see them. Look what they're shining the light.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Look, there's 3 of them right there.
Okay, so this is happening. I'll tell you what. If I go outside my house and I see Caesar and I see the other Planet of the Apes, apes that I can't think of their names right now, aside from Caesar, but if I see them up in a tree, first of all, I extend a hand because they do like to shake hands. Of course. From what I've been told, they do like to shake hands. I grab a banana. I do believe I get bananas. I think that is a big part of what they do enjoy. Maybe some other fruit. And I try to befriend them as much as possible because those things, they'll ransack your house. They will rob you. They will take your food. And they will start running your house if they want to. You need to watch yourself. Those things are incredibly intelligent. They said in the article that the monkeys were yelling at people. So like people would be coming up, like just straight yelling at these. What I think we're 98% the same genetic makeup as
like DNA, right?
Yeah,
share DNA, same DNA
as a chimp or whatever, as chimpanzee. Yep. So it's like it's a pet. I would assume these were pets, or maybe old buddy was running his own little monkeys.
They're not pets. Hey, if they once they become like adults, they are not pets. Like they will rip your arm. Go shake their hand, they'll rip your arm right off.
Yeah, you do not reach your hand out to these things. They will pull you in close, rip your face off, and then shit down your throat.
No, they will not.
Throw it around.
We're gonna shake hands.
Stay away from these things.
Let's go shake their hands.
You guys had a teacher.
Yeah, Mrs. Brooke.
And what happened to her?
Well,
she tried shaking her hand.
Yeah, it turns out her orangutan or chimpanzee or whatever, he turned heel.
Ripped her back apart.
She couldn't. She stopped teaching because
she ended up like Quasimodo.
Yeah, it was
Jesus.
I don't know if that's
Is that the one whose face got ripped off? She was like
back.
She was
Left
the
her
one
spleen
lady that
laying on the
faced her
floor.
she's
Half
been
her back,
living
AJ.
with it.
Yeah.
Ripped her vertebrae out.
Yeah, a lady in Connecticut, I guess, got her face ripped off by a chimpanzee. And I had a teammate who had one of those Ace Ventura Pet Detective, what are those little, I forget what type of monkey.
Capuchin?
Capuchin monkey, named Gucci. One of my favorite stories of all time is when Gucci, was starting to get a little bit more mature, starting to get a little bit older, and he started thinking he was an alpha. And my teammate, and I've said this story before, I don't want to do it right now because I'm not 100% sure if he tells this story in his own way, and I don't want to ruin it at all, but had a standoff with the pet monkey, which is 2.5 feet tall, in the hallway, yelling, sprinting directly at each other, like in his house. That actually happened.
That's
I guess there is a chance that as the monkeys mature, they start to realize that you're a stooge.
Yeah.
And they're like, we can fucking do this if we really wanted to. And there becomes a little bit of a beef within the house. And I think you have to truly alpha the monkey. And then the monkey is not going to give up, I don't think. There's going to be another alpha test at some other point. It is never a good idea, I think, to have a pet monkey at this point. I think we've all realized.
If they're outside your house, I will say the raccoons, the possums, all those things are dead because those monkeys will not mess around. That's their territory.
I guess they do eat meat.
They'll eat anything, I think.
Yeah. They don't eat meat.
Planet of the Apes, I mean, they're killing anything in their path.
I don't think they eat meat. I think
do we know what kind they are? Like, are they
eat like
chimps,
lice.
bonobos? What are they?
Let me go to the article here. This is in Ohio, by the way. This comes years after the jungle cat rescue opened the gates, and there was fucking Jaguars weren't crossing I-70.
Yeah.
Like there was a report. One of the 911 calls was like, I just saw. No shit. Hey, no shit. I just saw a puma. Yeah, where are you? I-70 over here. And then there's a lion sitting. This is going to sound crazy. There is a jungle cat lion sitting at the corner of, or at the exit of 70 in Pooter's Way down here. That was real.
If only this happened in Mobile, Alabama. Y'all see a leprechaun say,
Geez, Mobile, Alabama is one of the best places of all time. My name's I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and I rode a train. But Ohio has all this shit pop off all the time, dude. You guys got one. And you guys drive with both feet.
Yeah. Fools.
Well, I mean, yeah, race car drivers do, and myself. But yeah, the Columbus Zoo is 5 minutes from my house, by the way.
That's a nice zoo, AJ. I like that one.
Is Columbus Zoo
beautiful at Christmas time?
It's Jack Hanna's zoo, and unfortunately, just I think yesterday came out that he has dementia.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's give a big thanks to Jack Hanna, everything he's done.
Thank you, Jack.
He was obviously after Steve Irwin, right? Jack Hanna became the lone basic face for wildlife and for animals for a lot of the people that are outside of that community, whether it was on late shows appearances or morning show appearances or anything like that. Jack Hanna always brought the sauce.
Oh yeah,
always brought the juice. Appreciate that. But yeah, I did hear bad times for Jack Hanna. Hell of a run though. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
Hell of a run there. Why do you guys do that in Ohio? Just dumb things?
What, have wild animals?
Well, drive with both feet.
Yeah, be stupid.
The wild animal thing, I know Texas is big on that, but I don't know if it's that big of a deal. Haven't they started changing laws where you can't own certain animals like this?
Tiger King kind of opened a lot of people's eyes, I think, because there was a lot of people that were going to these jungle cat rescues, they thought, and taking pictures with these animals and flexing and posting and saying how cool this is. Then Tiger King kind of exposed, like, hey, these cats you're taking a picture with that you like so much are probably being treated like absolute shit where they are right now. And that is something to think about. So I think that type of stuff is all coming together because there is like zoos. I got into it with the Indianapolis Zoo one time, and I did not mean to. I watched, Blackfish, I believe is the one with Shamu.
Oh, yeah. SeaWorld.
Yeah. Have I told you about this?
No, but I have a feeling I know where it's going.
So I watch Blackfish. Okay,
I've seen Blackfish too. So yeah, okay, I can't wait to hear that.
Okay, so I watched it. I go on Bob and Tom like the next less than 7 hours post because it's a morning show.
Oh yeah,
less than 7 hours post watching that, and there was somehow the zoo came about, and boy, I said. I really went on it. Like, after what, like, a fool, like, I wonder, like all those animals at the zoo now, I was like, they're all doing life sentences. Like, you know, you go to the zoo, you do this whole thing. I don't even know if I could ever go to a zoo again. And I used to love the zoo. Like I used to enjoy going to the zoo. After watching that, it changed everything for me. Boy, oh boy. The amount of information that was sent to me from the zoos around the country, more specifically the Indianapolis Zoo, about how the experiments in the science in the captivity basically has kept species alive and all this. Like it is, they're like, listen, I understand there are some places and some things that are terrible, but please don't come after us. We are doing that. And I'm like, you're right. I was 100% wrong. Turns out my announcement that I was back on board was nowhere near as loud as the against one. So
it never is.
Negativity hogs.
I'm back on board. I'm back on board very much with the zoos after learning very good things for animals long term, I guess. But man, it was one of those things where you watch some of that shit and you're like, this is terrible.
Yeah, and to your credit, you never know, because we all thought Bogdan was running like a clear-cut place, and turns out he was also an absolute scumbag when it came to taking care of animals.
Who's that?
Bogdan.
Excuse me?
Who?
What was his name?
Bogdan.
I think that was definitely not it. Bagavon?
It was something along the lines of Bogdan and Bagdavon.
The other guy.
Yeah, the other guy. Yeah. Who had like a heron?
He had like 5 wives.
Yeah, a heron. Yeah.
Bogavon Entel.
Bogdavan, come on.
Bogdan von Bogdan.
That's what I thought.
I'm at least going to the free throw line, if that's how close I am.
I agree. That was close. Not an and one, but
in Ohio, 2012, you were allowed to have a lion, a tiger, a bear, an elephant.
Yeah, they all got
and monkeys.
loose.
And that was when they all. But now the OGs who kept their monkeys around, they're like, I ain't giving them up because this one dumbass let all his jungle cats free. We're going to keep ours. They're like, well, the law says, well, fuck the law. Okay, they're not coming to see this whole thing. Then he got to a point, or she got to a point where they're like, okay, now we need to free these monkeys potentially. That's what happened with them. Yeah. Those jungle cats, the owner was like, they got to be free, and then I think killed himself.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, thank you. You can all deal with this. I haven't fed him in a week either.
Good luck.
I mean, yeah, a guy that is going to do that, you should probably check on him a few times throughout the year to make sure he's mentally stable enough so he doesn't do something like that.
And we say guy, and that's pretty sexist, but it does feel like it's mostly the dudes in this entire thing that are making these dumb decisions, even though, what was her name? Carol
Baskins.
Carol Baskins. She's in that game, too.
Well, she also buried that dude on her property somewhere.
Well, she didn't bury it.
Fed him.
Everybody just thinks, allegedly, by the way.
Yeah. Is she still with that husband?
That guy stinks.
She was on Dancing with the Stars.
That's right.
She got voted out early, though. I don't think
She stunk at dancing.
I don't think anybody cared about dancing or not. I think everybody just was like,
hey, lady. The judges?
Hey, lady. She took a beating in that Tiger King.
Also, I believe that the family of the deceased ex-husband ran a commercial on the Dancing with the Stars.
It's going to be hard to win over some votes. It's going to be hard to win over the votes whenever the suspicious dead ex-husband.
Carol Baskin killed my father, and then they ran a bunch of clips. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, hey, by the way, if you want to get something solved, go to where it's at.
Yeah, smart move by them.
Pat, for real, you would be a great contestant on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, I've heard it's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's a ton of work. I know that, but I think you'd be good.
I appreciate that. There's Masked Dancer. That one's come out.
No.
Yeah, I think I'd be good at that.
Yeah.
I think I'd be good at that one because I heard it's a lot less work. The Dancing with the Stars thing, it's like 5 days a week. They're going 3 hours a day trying to learn these dances. It's like, that's the type of commitment you need. I appreciate it. I respect it. But there's no way in fucking hell I could sign up for that. And the only way you can't embarrass yourself is if you do that, too. It's like, everybody loses like 20 pounds, 30 pounds while they're in there. What you do? Well, literally for the last 7 weeks, I dance all day. Dance all day and all night. It's so hard to do. I don't.
Bad for the knees.
You can lube those up toward them.
I was playing with Donald Driver. When Donald Driver, he won the whole thing. He won Dancing with the Stars. He was still on the Packers at the time. It was a big deal.
Was it in the off season, I assume?
Yeah, I think he missed maybe the first couple of weeks, maybe the first month of OTAs, and came back like in May after he won.
He probably came back in better shape than he's ever been in his entire
Quicker
life.
feet, too.
Yeah, he's dancing on a sideline downer. The John Dornbos, whenever he was snapping for the Eagles, was a part of America's Got Talent or whatever. He was flying out night of training camp.
Oh, yeah.
Flying out to do America's Got Talent, dominating, then flying back to training camp the next day, long snapping, and fly out a week later, all the while trying to figure out what his performance was going to be for the show. I mean, that's a tough balance there.
And Aaron's going to have to do that for Jeopardy, too,
I really thought he was retiring for Jeopardy there for quietly.
Did you really?
I didn't
you thought he would quit football for that?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say it out loud, but I thought to myself, it seems like everything he's saying here is a potential. And I added in, like, why wouldn't they have had a deal done by now? They must not. There must be some. Why would Mark Murphy say I can't talk about that, other than the fact that it's business? Like, why would it? Maybe it's. And I was just kind of. I didn't say it publicly, but there was a thought in there.
He should follow his dream.
There's a thought in there. Well, his dream probably to win multiple Super Bowls, be cemented as the greatest of all time. So he is following that.
Yeah, he has one.
At some point, you have to get sick of your own team constantly going against you, though.
Yeah, I would assume. Yeah, and then that also plays into it, But yeah, I'm happy to know that he's not going to do that, and we can still watch him play football. But he's great on Jeopardy. Oh yeah, he's very good on there.
He'll be able to do I think that Jeopardy gig will be there whenever he wants it. But I did see LeVar Burton. LeVar was trending a couple days ago on Twitter because he's putting it out there that, yes, I want to be the host too.
He has a petition going on.
Yeah, but by the way, that was our immediate response upon saying Aaron's going to be the full-time host. It was while Aaron was on there, LeVar Burton was trending then too. He's trended since then too. I think he would do fantastic, by the way. That is not a shot at LeVar Burton or whatever, but I don't think he is not guest hosted yet. I'm excited to see. They better at least allow.
Is he set up? Is he in line to guest host here coming up?
Zito is saying no, and I assume that's what the internet has said as well.
Yeah, I saw the whole list they have up. He was not on there, and part of that petition is to be a guest as well, a guest host. If I'm correct, if I saw that.
I think the guest host is probably the gateway,
audition.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, the audition, it's a screen test for him.
Yeah, this headline says LeVar Burton shares petition to secure guest hosting spot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, get him on there. Let's give him a shot. Yeah. What are we doing? Reading Rainbow was a smash.
Aaron just brings a whole different audience to Jeopardy, don't you think? Like, for the show itself.
He has to retire.
Did you now? Bears fan Zito, did you have you watched?
I haven't watched any of the guest host ones.
No. Okay, so
with Aaron?
So what you just said there, though,
no, but like before Aaron.
Yeah,
you have watched Aaron.
Oh yeah, I've watched every episode since.
Okay, good.
I'm the same. I've never watched Jeopardy. I'm watching Aaron.
See, I'm a normal Jeopardy watcher, so I'm not 100% sure. But you guys are saying you do tune in to see the handsome quarterback.
Yeah, and also just like his interactions.
Yeah, in my opinion, the EP was the only one that's ever been good out of all the guest hosts.
Close.
Yes, not taking away for anything from the other guest hosts, but Aaron's been the best.
I think so.
Yeah.
This kid from Cal is on quite a run.
Yeah. What if it's the entire run, by the way?
Hopefully. It'd be awesome for the show.
Build up a little rapport there.
And the Cal Golden Bears.
Do you love him saying go Bears every?
Oh, yeah. Bear down. I say that every time.
Oh, when he says it, you say Bear down.
Take that, Aaron.
Let's go to Kenny in Long Island, New York. What's going on, Kenny?
And the boys, how are we doing today?
Not too shabby. How are you, Kenny?
I'm good. So I wanted to talk AFC North football.
Okay. Yeah, in the kitchen. It gets hot in the kitchen, too, in the AFC North.
It does.
Let's talk about it.
It does. So we could see, all the teams are getting young at quarterback, and we got the Steelers sitting here. Seems like they're next in line to take a young stud. How do you feel about Mike Tomlin trading up in the draft and taking Justin Fields?
Okay, let's go to... That's not happening.
They have no draft capital.
And they have no salary cap room, right?
No. Also, I found an interesting stat yesterday that Justin Herbert and Ben Roethlisberger both threw for 33 touchdowns and had 10 interceptions last season.
You saw the same meme I did. You saw the same meme I did because they said the meme was old and washed up and then young rookie sensation. And the reason why that is because as you get older, you get better, you would hope. Yeah. But I did appreciate the fact that if you just look at those numbers, they were 11-0 last year. 11-0. Now, a lot of things are going to look different, but they were 11-0 last year at one point. It did appear as if the wheels completely fell off that train. Bud Dupree getting hurt. He's out, but he's gone. He's in Tennessee now. But that team was very good last year, and then everything just collapsed, it felt like.
I remember the run. What happened? I know Bud Dupree got hurt, but what was there one big thing that happened, or were they just somehow squeaking by and winning early in the year?
Well, the offense was they weren't running the ball. The offense was all like quick stuff, and then as soon as somebody figured it out, it felt like, okay, everybody's sitting on passes right now, and there was no play action available because they never ran the ball, so there was no deep threat at all. It just felt like with Bud Dupree out, TJ and Bud weren't racing for the quarterback. It's like everything that maybe made them dynamic, whether it was the quick offense that was working, it got figured out. And then the two pass rushers who were unbelievable. Like the defense, very, very good. But losing Bud, I think, was very large. And then I do believe the offense getting figured out was a problem.
Yeah, not having Devin Bush and Bud on the defense hurt a lot. And then the running game, I think, was averaging over 100 the first 6 games of the year, and then it completely fell off, and then everything fell apart. And the line didn't block as well as normal. Foxy was probably actually number
Foxy
one.
became a fan.
Some of the teams they play at the end of the year were getting their groove. Like the football team, when the Steelers played them, were just getting hot.
And their record was terrible.
Yeah.
The Bengals were peaking too.
They did peak that one.
And the Browns.
The Browns were getting good. Yeah. Like it was
the Bengals on Monday night.
Hey, it got ugly quick.
Really did.
I mean, it was Penthouse to Lions fan.
Penthouse, Washington afternoon or Wednesday afternoon football.
Waff.
Yeah. Well, it started with that terrible Ravens game, which they won, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
Straight into that.
Oh, yeah, because that was a Bob Griffin III game, right? Yeah.
Oh, the over.
Where he got hurt.
The over on the rush yards. One play. It was like 20 yards or something like that.
Yeah, it was one play, and then he got hurt the next play.
He got hurt. Yeah, they're down to PC for that.
Yeah. How many yards did I run? I'm good. I'm out of the game.
Yeah, well, awesome. He popped his hammy or whatever. He had a sniper on the roof. Yeah. Hideki Matsuyama, 3 under. He shot a 69. Okay, wow. Brian Harmon shot a 69. The leaders are not below 68. Fuck! I got bamboozled.
How is
the course probably gonna get harder, isn't it? Throughout the day.
So the wind has picked up even more.
How is that minus 200 before the Super Boost for someone to score under
what were
68?
they fucking watching?
That's horse shit.
They're at Augusta, aren't they?
Not the odds makers, but somebody from FanDuel was down there. They could have gave a message to the odds makers.
They were probably basing it off of the 20 under. Yeah, that.
Well, you can't do that.
Can't November and.
I mean, this is Augusta, dude.
What did the PhD say? Situations are situations.
He said that.
He did, AJ. You heard him.
The members, dude. The members don't want minus 20.
What the hell?
AJ, you heard him.
I mean, you put words into his mouth, yeah.
No. He said it himself.
When he tried to say it, he couldn't say it, though. He said, because situationals are situation, right?
No.
He did say that, and I powered through that and tried to say we're going to get attempt number 2 on the other side, but never got there. All right, it's raining here, I think.
Oh, my wheelbarrow.
Once again, the wheelbarrow is completely okay.
It's an industrial product, Zito.
Hey, spell wheelbarrow, by the way.
WHEEL space?
Nah, I'm not sure of that.
Either way.
BARROW.
Let's go!
I just bought it. I know.
Yeah, you didn't read the part where it's like, it's okay if it gets a little moist.
Well, I just got the title.
Just got the title. Like it's a fucking Tesla. Just got the car. Which I guess it is old school style, by the way. You're the ox in this fashion.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's get out of here. Hammer Dahn's in 30 minutes. Diggs, any good bets coming in?
Yeah, a lot of MLB today, some good NBA tonight.
Nice.
Good about it.
Nice. All right, Hammer Down's in 30 minutes or so, 29 minutes at Hammer Down's YouTube. AJ, anything to say to the people? Oh, boy.
I think I'm all right today. How you seem to be like you faded quick towards the end, but I'm worried about Diggs. Like, is your whole life thrown up? I know it's a great opportunity for you to host this show, but I feel like you have to watch every single game of every sport.
Just got Gumpy for.
Yeah, that's me, AJ.
Yeah, Gumpy does do that. He just kind of dives right in and just watches everything somehow. I have no idea. His screens and everything. He just doesn't sleep, I think, because the shipyard for that whole thing. But you got to remember, Diggs has been gambling on everything, even things he hasn't watched for years now. Years and years at this point.
AJ, I will look at every single game, like as far as research and stuff like that. That doesn't mean you have to watch it. Just because you gamble it, you don't have to watch it. All the stats tell the story, dude. Okay. Except for football.
All right. I'll see you guys. Have a great day. Have a great Thursday. Can't wait to watch Hammer Down. AJ, anything to say to the people?
For the second time? No. Let's have a great Friday tomorrow.
Yeah, but I thought maybe I could get you, because yesterday, do you remember?
Oh, it was awesome.
It was good. Man, I was fired up all day. All day I was fired up.
That's what I'm saying. So
come on, AJ.
Opportunity, pal.
Give us some
juice.
Actually,
what got me excited and laughing was I went back and I watched the beginning of the show where you guys just tried to pile on my 2-foot driving, listening to Gumpy's comments, Ty explaining how I would have one foot on the brake, and I'd be gunning the gas like an idiot at a stoplight. Just really, I had to text him like, that was good, man. I laughed out loud.
Yeah, you probably were. You're probably just literally counteracting yours, and then you just give the car back to whatever company gave it to you for the week and a half, and they're like, "Hey, something's wrong with the brakes." It came that way.
Can you switch my Ohio Legend license plate, please?
I need one with bigger brakes when it lasts longer.
I'm smooth. I'm super smooth off the line. I'm not taking anybody off the line. I don't care.
No, you're not.
I drive fast, okay, but the off the line thing I think is a bit overhyped.
Yeah,
I do believe.
I mean, yeah. Once you're 16 and a half and it's not cool anymore, yeah. Like who's taking anybody off the line?
I did have this souped up Ultima that was next to me one time. Had a little bit of a
spoiler.
It had a full body kit, so the spoiler was added into it, but it did have a little full body kit. I believe he had the spinners on it, but it was the the Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. You were next to Nick at the red light.
Yeah, it was Nick in high school there. It was the whole car club there. The Fast and Nitro Rush. Yeah, it had a hood scoop. This guy had a hood scoop on him, and the old fart bucket on the exhaust.
Okay.
Yeah, right next to me. I believe I was in the Shelby at the time or whatever. Revved or whatever.
That's when you know.
And off the line, he really went or whatever. It was fantastic to watch. I love that those people still exist. I thought that died a long time ago, but shout out to them just keeping it alive.
Driving up and down Pendleton Pike all day, every day.
Yeah, that's Pendleton
There's like
Pike.
many car clubs that run up and down Pendleton.
Oh, Jay's a part of it, probably over there.
Well, Jay used to be. Jay was an OG car club member.
Yeah.
We used to sit outside Krispy Kreme. Ain't that right, Jay?
Yeah, and Taco Bell. Used to walk through the Taco Bell drive-thru.
You had your hood open?
Yeah.
No, I did not have anything.
There were cars that had hoods open, but it was a lot of cars parked without using the parking space lines.
That's big at
Do they
Tim
play
Hortons.
Tokyo Drift the whole time?
Tim Hortons parking lots in Canada.
I don't think Tokyo Drift was played, but the conversation was had about if they could Tokyo Drift a lot. Which car would they choose to do? A lot of, which car. I do believe every time some new car showed up there, it was awesome. The Skyline, didn't a Skyline show up? No.
I don't think we got anything that fancy.
No, but somebody from another thing showed up. Like, and when it showed up, it was like a head turner. Everybody tightens up, my
leather
God.
jacket.
I do believe that was when I did start to fall in love with vehicles, though.
I love Skylines.
There's the chili is good. Yeah, there's a neat.
I love that too.
There was an Eagle Talon that had a twin turbo in it that was like my dream car. Whenever I was like, I want to get one of those. They do not create those anymore. They are dead. But I thought for sure I could take that fucking Eagle Talon down.
Yeah.
We had another Eagle Summit. Ran that thing into the dirt. That thing was a good car.
Turns out you can't run out of gas in those.
Yeah, the battery will die before the gas will go out. That thing will run on fumes.
The transmission blew too.
Yeah, the whole car shut down before it ran out of gas.
I'd love to get a Gran
We spent
Torino.
3 days trying to run out of gas. Couldn't do it.
Driving in circles.
Jeez.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. The whole car broke before it ran out of gas. That thing is a gritty car. The Eagle Summit. They probably don't make those anymore.
No way.
That might have been the last one. It fucking died off in a good fashion. Slaughter Monster, road car. All right, I'm out of here. Dustin Johnson seems to be scattering all over the place.
They got that like 8K camera on him, don't they?
He looks
They do.
good.
It's a portrait shot. He's currently even. He's been scrambling, styling it in here, DJ.
I tell you what, they've been showing Lee Westwood. I feel bad. That dude is battling.
Shit.
DJ.
What happened? He had his fiance as the caddy for a long time.
Looks like his son this time. The kid looks young. I would assume it's his son.
Oh, he shouldn't have done it. He was on a run there, wasn't he? Lee Westwood was on like a run.
Kid kind of stinks at caddy.
Didn't he get 2 second place finishes, I think, back to back?
Back to back, yeah. Came out of nowhere. It was like the first time in 11 or 12 years. Get out of here, caddy. Don't need it.
Is his son get benched tonight, you think? Tomorrow goes back there?
I mean, he stinks.
Rory McIlroy almost killed his father with a golf ball today.
No.
Rory McIlroy hit his dad with an errant approach shot on number 7 during the first round.
I mean, get out of the way, Dad.
Spieth is even, and it looks like Bryson is 3 over.
He blasted him right in his calf, I guess. I have not seen this. We cannot run this. They will shut us down very quickly.
Damn.
I do love the fact that of all of the people that were there, which it seemed like there was a pretty nice crowd this morning. I assume it is some percentage of capacity, but it felt like a good crowd this morning around Jack and Gary players. They teed off, and I assume it's only going to grow throughout the day. The fact that he finds his dad, that's That's what it's all about. Imagine how many times his dad almost probably got hit throughout his entire life with a golf ball. Now here they are at Masters weekend, and his dad just getting fucking blasted by golf balls by his kid. Let's go. This is a
Did his
full
dad protect
circle.
him from like an out of bounds shot?
What a cool moment.
Like stood in front of it so he couldn't go out of bounds?
No, did he save him from yeah.
Dove across. Oh shit, it's happening. I'm going to run over there.
And did he flex his calf to make it bounce further?
Yeah.
Should have gone for like a header and just knocked it towards the pin.
Yeah, did he ricochet? How much does his dad love Rory?
Wow.
Quite a bit.
He got a chance to find out. He put his calf in the line for it this morning. Bailey, you're right. Maybe do a header, Bill.
Yeah.
Bill, if you were to do a header right now, we'd see that thing for about a year or two. Bill shaved his head completely, AJ.
Can we see him?
He shaved that thing.
Yes.
Not a good enough camera angle.
Yeah, get closer, Bill.
Hey, he's got that 8K camera on him up there.
I get people yelling at me thinking I'm not putting Bill in focus.
Yeah, it's an 8K camera that Foxy puts on himself. You know what I mean? That's got to happen. Bill, congrats on the commitment there, man.
Oh, boy, Bill.
Let's go, Bill. Man, you do look different this way.
Look good. I think you look good, Bill.
AJ likes it,
Hey,
so do
thanks,
I.
AJ.
How do you feel?
I wear hats all the time anyway, so it doesn't really change too much.
It's going to be a little bit more upkeep, though, now, right? Because you're going to have to shave it, right?
Sunscreen.
Sunscreen's going to have You look good, though.
Once a week, pal. Welcome to the club.
You have a good head shape to be bald. I'm in trouble if anything happens, but your head looks good.
Appreciate that.
No problem, bub. Can't do it. AJ, I assume you have the same type of lug head I have. It would look bad bald.
Yeah, most likely. I shaved my head in high school a few times. Yeah, probably look pretty terrible.
Me too. I look terrible every time. Like, God, why did I do this again? I thought I didn't like this. Grow, and it takes forever, and then you get bored, you shave it again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this looks terrible. Let's grow this thing out. And then it takes forever. Then you get hosted Jeopardy, and then it's like I do a comb over.
I have to do it.
Grow it out. How long is he going to go, you think? You think he's going long with that thing?
I mean, if he didn't cut it for Jeopardy, why would he cut it after? Like, it seems like he wants to grow it out.
I agree. Good for him. All right. Hammer Down's in 21 minutes. Dustin Johnson with a long putt here for par, I believe.
So short.
Oh. Leaves himself 2.5 to 3 feet short here.
That's a gimme.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I wish they would give that to him.
Me too.
But he's going to have to make that putt.
He almost fought someone a couple weeks ago for over a gimme.
Dustin Johnson?
He got into it with, I can't remember the golfer's name. But yeah, it was when they had the match play a couple weeks ago.
Really?
That's funny.
He almost smacked somebody in the mouth. Del Curry made me putt one that I thought we were good on.
Yeah.
And I felt disrespected by him. I made it the first time.
Yep.
Then he did it the second time. I missed it. And I fucking hated it so bad because he felt so good about it. Those 2 foot and a half with a little bit of a turn on them.
Just a little.
Man, those are some thinkers.
Yeah,
those
dangerous.
are some thinkers.
The money putts.
Those are very costly.
Yep.
Just
Still got the belt from Dell, so.
Lee Westwood at +6. Holy shit.
Lee.
Can end with a birdie, though.
Yeah, that's for birdie.
This is not falling.
It's because his kid stinks as a caddy.
His fiance would have rubbed the head of the putter.
Get in.
Oh, boy.
We knew that was happening.
By a mile. He missed that by a mile.
We knew that was happening. Hey, Lee's going to take it in tonight. He's going to have a good night's sleep. He's coming back tomorrow. Lee's going low tomorrow.
Yep.
Lee's going low tomorrow. +6 on the day. Oof. Jesus. Hey, he's yoked, by the way. I think he works out more than you, AJ.
You think? Yeah, I mean, he is. He's like a big, sturdy guy.
Where's he from?
England. Somewhere over in England, right?
Mm-hmm. Is it England, yeah?
I'm pretty sure.
Birmingham or something?
Wonder his thoughts about the crown. All right,
I do. I really wonder.
All right, I'll see you. Everybody enjoy the Masters. Hammer Down comes on in 19 minutes. Cheers.